Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy Jack at the Irish Hotspur. David, unfortunately, everybody is not well tonight, not going to be able to make it. Just really has a really serious back issue of some sort that seems to really just prevent any sort of movement, any sort of ability to, speak, with that real thrust that David can do. He can't go on any rants, can't go on any sort of, rants against Harry Winks or anything. I think it would just worsen the condition. But hopefully you stick with me tonight. But David, I think we'll be better by tomorrow. But hopefully everybody is doing okay. Let's welcome in a bit of the Harris Army. I will say, I bet they're all doing quite well, though. It's been honestly a spectacular weekend, I imagine, for most. But let's see how they're doing. Adam McFarland saying, weekend is always good when Woolwich lose. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Adam. Good to see you. My man Adrian saying, give a nice little pat on the back and a big smile to an Arsenal fan today. Yeah, just get him next time. Exactly, Adrian. And it's something that us younger fans have gotten used to, seeing Spurs be ahead of Arsenal for so long. It's something that I just don't want to see change, my man. Big up, though, Moondog or Adrian. And Moondog saying, good evening, guys. I'd rather it be Doherty out rather than it being another player we can get by without him. Interesting. Interesting take. I would say the wingbacks are very important, though, Moondog. They're very important. Not as important as those Eric Dyer bats, though, my man. The regular saying best weekend result wise. Come on, you Spurs. Big up the regular. Tottenham Tantrum Gold saying, ladies and gentlemen, live from Madison Square Garden, I wish, in the Big Apple, New York, introducing the best show in the world. There's only one thing left to say. Let's get this party started. Big up, Dermot. Big up, Tottenham Tantrum Gold. And in the red and blue corner, live from Brooklyn, New York, introducing the man who needs no introduction in the world. He's the best statsman around and the one and only Jack Son Statsman Kanicki. Really appreciate it, Dermot. And I will read, since you went overtime, since you're putting in all the hard yards, Dermot, might as well read it aloud. In the green corner, in the green, it's Connor. He's undefeated, the undisputed number one Irish Spurs fan in the world, the one and only David. Get better soon, Irish Hotspur. Harris, Dermot, really appreciate you, brother. Really do appreciate you, brother. Sorry, guys, as you know, got COVID, so won't be able coming on tonight, but have a blast. Brilliant win. It's a shame over Doherty. Please hit the subscription button, hit that like and the bell. Dermot, really appreciate you, brother. And also big ups. Everybody, head on over to Tottenham Tantrum Gold. No better time to show that guy a bit of support because he's shown this channel a lot of support. Show him a lot of support as well. Big up, Dermot. Really appreciate it. And no worries, brother. Catch you next time for it. Mick is in the house saying, good evening, lads. Come on, you Spurs. Keep our heads up. Big up, Mick. Always in here as well. Old Souls in the house saying, evening all. We could always change formation if Emerson, Reggie, and Sess don't step up. Maybe the old 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-2-1. We just have to continue to work hard and believe. Maybe toss in an extra midfielder in there. I guess we would just need to wait for Skippy maybe to be back for that case. I guess Old Soul. Maybe the big thing is that we're getting away with two midfielders because we only really have two midfielders at this moment in time. But big up, Old Soul, my man. Still calling the house saying that referee was shambolic. I mean, disgraceful. Plenty of words. Honestly, was letting people get away with assault. I don't even know what to tell you. Still call Brad Matthews saying, get well soon, TTG. And yeah, I forgot to tell you that as well, Dermot. Do hope you're doing a bit better, my man, especially, I would say, getting COVID around this time period, my man. Do hope you're doing okay. Big up, Dermot. But Derek Hutchinson saying, good evening, David and Jack. Everywhere they go, West Ham and Arsenal get battered everywhere they go. Big up, Derek Hutchinson. Hopefully you're doing okay. The Birdie Hotspur in the house saying, big up, Harris and Flatcap Army. Great weekend, deserves a great stream. Hopefully it will be a birdie. Hopefully we provide, my man. But King Hoddle as well saying Doherty's absence does not diminish our top four chances. We cannot lose Lloris, Romero, Bentancur, Son, or Kane. They are the pivotal ones. We drew with Liverpool and beat City twice without Doherty in the team. To be fair, it's only a 6-game run, that's actually been of real, importance or of real significance. So you actually have a good point there, King Hoddle, and it's good to see you in here. So he's saying, good evening, Jack. Absolutely buzzing for this. I'm starting to believe now time to trust in Emerson, Conte, and the team. Can't wait for the UCL nights at the Lane where they belong. Come on, you Spurs, Zoe. looking forward to it. And I will say the fact that even now we're putting in comments and whatnot, saying, looking forward to the Champions League and whatnot. It's getting a bit crazy. It's gonna, getting kind of butterflies, we'll say, Zoe. Rufus Roughcut saying, evening, lads. Crazy, isn't it? A few weeks ago, nobody wanted Doherty to play. And now the same people moan he's out for the season. If we get Champions League next season, Kane has a dilemma. I believe me, I was one of those people with Emerson. Rufus, I'll have to hold my hand up. I was one of those people. KPV's in the house. KPV doing very well, and hopefully you come on later, my man. I do want to see you come on later. Matt C saying, usually on a Monday, I wake up upset and tired because I'm back at school, but this Monday was different. It was a perfect weekend for Spurs, which means a perfect weekend for all of us. Matt C, love it, my man. And I will say Mondays at school, Mondays at work, it's definitely at least made a whole lot better when the weekend is set off right by Spurs, my man. But big up, Matt C. Hopefully you're keeping well. Tyler in the house saying, will Skit be back for our next game? I'd like to think so. And hopefully Conte thinks the same, but I can't tell you, my man. I haven't checked up on that. Miss Wowdy, saying bloody hell. I don't even know what it was, my man, but big up. Ricky Nato saying, evening, Dave and Jack. Losing Doherty going to hurt. Emerson needs to get his act together. Yeah, he certainly does. Big up, Ricky. Ellie saying, smash those like and subscribe buttons, people. Listen to Ellie. Always listen. Dark Sun G in the house saying, Man United is losing games and manners. LOL. I love it. Gooners are going to lose to Southampton and Man United going to lose to Norwich. While we smash Potter again, that would be absolutely, I will say, to the end point there, Dark Sun G, be absolutely hilarious if we just smash Brighton all over again. Where Arsenal just find it so hard against, Brighton, where we just absolutely demolish them again. That would be hilarious. It'd just be maybe the biggest team, to find it easy against Brighton. Every big team finds it hard against Brighton. It'd be pretty spectacular if we seem to find no trouble against them at all. But yeah, I mean, maybe Southampton could pull off one, but being demolished by Chelsea, I mean, two ways they respond. Either they just kind of roll over again, or they actually step up for that one. So you could be right. And Man United, I just don't even know with them anymore. And I'm pretty sure Man United don't even know anymore. But Dark Sun G, do appreciate all the support, and good to see you in here as well, my man. Mark News saying Doherty was coming into top form, targeted and taken out of the game by an illegal scissor tackle by Matty Cash. Referee was shocking, gave them a free pass, booked Pierre Højbjerg and Harry. Yeah, that's actually ridiculous as well for booking Højbjerg and Harry Kane. But also, yeah, there's so many players that day that just didn't get a yellow. I mean, even Tyrone Mings' challenge on Kulusevski, easily yellow card as well. It didn't even feel like he won the ball that cleanly, if I recall. Also just went through the guy and then was also kind of, taking out, maybe a potential attack. It just, I don't know, Mark, it was just shocking. And I'm not really surprised given what Spurs are used to. Galzer West saying, get well soon, Dave. Do really appreciate that. KPV, everybody saying get well soon. Do really appreciate that. Nate S32 saying, evening, Jack. Do hope you're doing well, my man, Nate. Just making sure, not missing anybody. Badrul Mazid saying, good evening, Jack. Best regards to David. Big up, Badrul. Hopefully you're keeping well, my man. Amir Sadar saying, get well soon, Dave. Evening all. Hope everyone is doing well after a great weekend for the Mind You Spurs. Amir, want to see you on, my man. I love talking to you as well, Amir. So hopefully you have time, my man. Claude Murphy saying, big up, Spurs. Villa got 4 Kings. Harold T saying, hello all. Big up, Harold T. Good to see you in here, my man. We have Leo Ghost as well. Muhammad as well in the house. Brad Matthews, of course. Galzer West saying, think we'll be fine without Dart because I'm sure Key will be there for backup, but surely they'll get pass him first. Get well soon, Dave. Do appreciate it, Galzer. Do really appreciate it. But everybody, do hit that like button. Do hit that subscribe button. If you are new, do hit that link that is in the community section for all members so you can come on and have a chat about this weekend and maybe about the future and also maybe this Doherty injury as well. Do grab those memberships as well because then the link is still live. You can still have a chat with me tonight. You can grab the membership, then grab the link as well, and do throw in those super chats to throw a bit of support to Dave as well as just to maybe stop and maybe ask anybody that's on, the panel, anybody that's a member, anybody that's maybe saying something that you disagree with, agree with, maybe just want them to talk about. Feel free to throw it in a super chat, and it does really help the channel. But let's get the first person on. Chris?
Evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. What a brilliant weekend we've had again. Brilliant weekend, second week in a row.
second weekend in a row, Chris. I mean, we're probably being a bit spoiled at this moment.
Right, ladies and gents, before we start yet, now if my phone goes off and my phone blows up again, I'm holding the Irish Hotspur responsible, okay? Because I'm not having two phones blow up in a week.
It's probably we'll have to
No,
pay some dues
right,
for it, Chris. But as well, I think it's
yeah,
just Arteta, getting through the
yeah.
wavelength.
Possibly, but what a blinding weekend, Jack. Another 4 goals scored, 0 conceded. Have to thank Lloris for that though, because what a blinder he played this weekend.
Absolutely,
The
absolutely.
first half, he was the superstar.
I mean, the guy, it just felt like, he just could save anything in front of him. And I believe that one, that was that Jacob Ramsey, shot as well. I mean, that was ridiculous reflex save, Chris. And I believe
The
they just
Coutinho
started to
free
give up.
kick.
The
The
Coutinho free
Coutinho
kick was
free
better.
kick. But do you know what though, Jack? I have to say, Aston Villa were a dirty team. So
Yeah.
many fouls. Tyrone Mings, Matty Cash, all of them just going down. It was ridiculous. That ref was a sham. I swear he
Yeah.
was an Aston Villa supporter.
I don't even know, Chris. It just felt like, he just wanted to see somebody, be pulled off in a stretcher. And maybe speaking of that, Matt Doherty got taken out of the game because of one of those challenges. Do you feel like that challenge by
Not
Matty Cash was a yellow right away?
That could have been actually a red. But the way he went in with both feet up in the air, that should have actually been a red card for a dangerous tackle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Disgusting. And now he's out for the rest of the season, just as he's hit form.
Chris, I kind of have two theories for it. So do you think maybe one of them could be that in the first half, early in the first half, referees, they just don't really want to punish people that hard, for any sort of bad challenges. But then another part
But
could
if
be
it,
because maybe Villa were pressing us, and teams that press a lot sometimes don't really get away, they can kind of get away with a lot of fouls as well. What do you think of that?
possibly, but I think if it was Tottenham, if it was the other way around, they would have probably sent one of our players off. It seems like they've just got it against us. Because that Matty Cash tackle, regardless if it's in the first or second half, that's a booking all day long, or it's sending off. Tyrone Mings against Kulusevski in the first half should have been a booking, nothing given.
Yeah.
Then he pushed one of our players to the ground. That could have been a straight red for raising his hands. Referee gave nothing again. So
Yeah.
it was just an all round bad performance from the referee, I have to say.
Yeah, the referee was just shocking. I just felt like Chris, and
The whole game.
Wasn't protecting the players. Also, like someone even put below in the comments, also gave Højbjerg and Kane, yellow cards. Despite I believe Matty Cash and Tyrone Mings not getting one.
Yep, and they were less severe tackles.
Yeah.
The Højbjerg one was a nothing tackle. No referee would have been blinked an eye at it. He went straight for the yellow card. So why wasn't the Matty Cash one a booking? It was worse.
Højbjerg as well. You put a photo out of all the battle scars that he had from that game as well, Chris.
Disgusting, but it doesn't matter. We still got the 3 points, and we won 4-0, and we kept a clean sheet. So, and now we're 6 points clear in the top 4. Man United lost. Good result. The scum getting beaten by Brighton. What a weekend! What more could we ask for?
Let's just go quickly to the game again, though, Chris. What are your thoughts with maybe the fact that we didn't even play that well, though, in the first half? How do you make sense of that?
The first half, I thought we were a bit ropey. He's just so lackadaisical with the ball. We just went for a split second. We went back into our old ways. But I think the halftime team talk done the players a world of good to regroup, because the second half we came out a different team.
Yeah,
we came out with more attitude and more anger. And I think that's down to the way the tackles were going in against us in the first half. Nothing was getting given, so I think the players come out with more vengeance.
Do you think it was just, Conte just had to tell them, listen, you're not going to get any protection out there. You just have to, play your game and,
quite possibly
help from the ref.
Quite possibly. That's what it looked like. He's told them, look, just go out there, do your thing. Forget what the referee's doing. Just get on with it. Let's get these 3 points. And we got them. And we got them in some style.
What do you make of the fact, Chris, that it felt like, we couldn't really handle the press? And then all of a sudden, we were kind of bypassing it with, that kind of long ball, over the top, to Harry Kane. Does it worry you that we had to go to that? Or are you kind of happy that, that worked out?
I'm happy it worked out, because we've seen it in the past, Jack, that we can't handle the low block. We can't. For some strange reason, we've got the sort of team that when it comes to a low block, we just can't handle it. But if we play over it or play around it, we can clear that press every time, and that's exactly what we've done in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And Talk and Ball's spot on there. They were trying to hurt us.
Yeah, that felt like
and
that.
they weren't there to play football. They were there to hurt us.
Do you feel like, maybe that was probably some sort of instruction maybe by Gerard, to maybe make things, a bit more physical
What?
than normal?
Yeah, rough us up to see if we back down. And obviously that didn't work in their favour because in the second half, we slapped them all over the pitch.
Yeah. Speaking of someone who probably could have gotten himself in trouble but didn't, was Romero, and now I believe he's okay, and for the rest of, the season, with no sort of, yellow card accumulation, Chris, so do you feel like, he did a good job, kind of, being a bit, kind of taking care of himself, he was, his good behavior. He's gone
I
away with
have
good
to
behavior.
say, I was surprised he didn't get a booking on Saturday. I am surprised because some of the tackles he did put in, but they were well-deserved tackles.
Yeah, there's one he put on Coutinho that I remember. He put like a nice, kind of
Left his mark.
after it. Yeah, he left his mark on him. But when I really looked at it, could probably get away with it, in certain games. It kind of made sense, but I do know what you mean. Probably a bit lucky. But knowing the way that he plays, Chris, that's what's gonna need to happen. He is gonna need to get lucky.
Yeah, but the thing is, with Romero, we all know what to expect from him. We know he's going to be doing something crazy in one of the games.
Yeah.
We know he's going to put a rash tackle in. We expect it from him, but that's why he's known as the Beast. Because we know what he's going to do next. We know he's going to inevitably get a yellow card to do something totally reckless. But when he does it recklessly, he actually comes out with the ball anyway. So it's actually technically a fair challenge.
I think most of the time, even the challenges that you see that look really hard, look like, you left a mark on a guy, you actually really watch it back. It's just clean challenges. It's just every time you just like to, make it a bit more physical than others. Dark Sun G with the super chat saying Kulu has the same amount of assists with Bruno, Cancelo, Son, and Reece James. He has more than Madison, Henderson, and Saka. Kulu will end the season with 10 plus assists. And I don't even think, I think he's played like 800 minutes or something like that. Now he's played probably around 900 minutes as well. Chris, I mean, the guy has, I think, already tied third most goal contributions in the whole squad. I don't know, Dave. Keep calling you Dave, Chris. But what do you think? Like Kulusevski,
he's gelled the front three. He's the final piece of the jigsaw of the front three for us. We've got Kane, Son, and Kulu up front. That's our front three now. And since Kulu's come in, that front three has been firing on all cylinders. And it seems like that now the pressure's off Son and Kane to produce. Kulu stepped into that position as well. So there's less pressure on Sonny and Kulu. Sonny and Kane even.
What do you make of the Kulu celebration on the goal as well? I think he went with that LeBron James sort of kind of celebration, Chris.
Definitely. But he enjoyed it. Do you know what, though? I am very surprised with Kulu, the way he's settled in so quickly. And he's actually a Premiership striker. Because if you look at the likes of, like, for example, Timo Werner from Chelsea, he still hasn't settled in. And Kulu's come in, half a season, and he's settled in like a Premiership striker already. So you could tell he's built for the Premier League.
Timo Werner is a good example because, like, Timo Werner was really highly rated before he came to the Premier League. When you kind of think about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he's still settled
in Europe, and then he comes to the Premier League. It just looks like Timo Weenie, as Dave would say. So it is actually funny. Someone like Kulusevski all of a sudden looks better in the Premier League than maybe he even did in the Serie A. Would you say, Chris? He almost looks better.
Yeah, I think the Premier League's built for him. I think the Premier League suits the way he plays because everybody says he's slow. He can't run very fast, but it's not his speed what is his asset. It's his passing and his shooting. He's passing the pass for Son for his fourth goal. For the fourth goal, you can see it. He's a natural Premiership striker.
No. Well, Dark Sun G, I expect him to get probably, what do you say, Chris? What do you say to Dark Sun G? Does he get 10 assists?
I agree with 10 plus. 10 plus.
10 plus. Wow. There it is. I mean, he's been probably the most creative player each game. Each time we break down the stats of each game, he usually has the most creative stats, so it wouldn't even be a surprise, Dark Sun G. But really do appreciate the support, my man. He says, Chris, how does it feel to see the Dr. Gooners and Dr. Manu? No more Dr. Tottenham, Dave. Or Chris, no more Dr. Tottenham.
I don't have to say a word. I don't have to say anything. You just look at the table. The table don't lie. Dr. Manu United, Dr. Manu and Dr. Gunas are struck exactly the same time.
They're also like helping out teams that were on big losing streaks as well. In the case of the Gooners,
Everton,
Brighton, Man United, helping
out Everton. Yeah, and somehow we've gone from that win lose to win and score goals galore in the process. So smash the goal difference anyway.
Funny how things change, Dark Sunji. Funny who's the doctor now. Who's the doctor now?
Yeah. Exactly.
And then he also says, Graham Scott is our jinx. He reffed 2 of our games, Burnley away and Villa away. As you remember, Bentancur got injured in that game. And now Doherty, please no more Graham Scott ref for us. So, Chris, it seems like Graham Scott just likes to see, the Spurs players, maybe take a knock.
Yeah, probably. He's just a crap ref anyway, Graham Scott. Any game he referees, he's just a shit ref. So it could have been worse. Though we could have had Mike Dean as VAR. Do you know what I mean? Could have been worse. But no, seriously, the refereeing decisions the other day were just appalling, and we all know it was.
Do you think actually genuinely some of the worst of the season? Do you think maybe this game?
I think so. I think it was some of the worst refereeing decisions I've seen. I was like, how is that a foul with Kulu when Kulu actually cleanly got the ball? And then Tyrone Mings takes him out, not even a booking. Pushes our player to the ground, not a booking. Matt Cash takes Doherty out,
put
not
his
a booking.
On like Højbjerg's neck, as well.
Yeah.
Tyrone Mings. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what the game the referee was watching, but we still came out there. Okay, we got an injury out of it, but we still got 3 points.
I think he wanted to see a different game, Chris. And what's actually funny? I think that referee display, it kind of reminded me of that ref, in the Man City game, who like turned his head, like that, the fourth official. I don't know. It's just one of those moments where you're just,
you
kind of start to believe the conspiracy theories that, they're kind of, all of them just seem to hate Spurs.
Some of it was just some of the decisions were just like, you can't understand why the decisions are not given.
Yeah,
and you can see the frustration on Conte's face as well, asking the fourth official, why is that not a foul? He's just injured my player. Why is it not a foul? And the fourth official just brushing off like, just go away.
Mm-hmm. And
do you know what I mean?
Some people are saying Ashley Young towards the end of the game as well. He tried to even take out Kane, which is a disgrace. But Dark Sun G, I guess we'll just say, and Dark Sun G has the best memory in the business. So next time we come up against Graham Scott, he will remind us, and we'll just say, listen, time for the players to pull out an insurance, sort of clause, because they will probably get, some sort of injury of some kind, because he doesn't seem to have any sort of care about protecting the players, which is part of his job. I must add as well. But Dark Sun G, really do appreciate it, my man. Really do appreciate it. But
see, Jack,
Chris, take it ahead.
I understand the referee's got to let a game flow, right? I understand that part of it, but not when you're playing like that, because that was what Aston Villa were doing was actually reckless and dangerous.
Yeah,
they could have severely injured one of our players, and I mean severely, with some of their tackles they put in.
Do you think it was more that they were also just following through? It felt like, on some of the challenges kind of unnecessarily. Because it felt like sometimes they would win it, but it was just that they would just went through. They would follow through as well.
They were just pure reckless. Reckless. And the problem is, with Graham Scott, he just thought, I'll let the game flow. And that was not the case. He shouldn't have done that happen.
Yeah. Chris, thoughts for Brighton? What are you thinking? Is it going to be easy like
3 points
for Brighton this season, or is it going to be a bit more tricky this time?
We're not Arsenal. It's 3 points for us.
Even without Doherty?
Even without Doherty. Look, we've got Cess back and we've got Reggie back fully fit. So we got to remember one thing. Doherty is not a left wing back. He's a right wing back. He was only playing as left wing back because Cess and Reggie were injured.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be he played brilliantly against Newcastle as a left wing back. And Emerson played well against Newcastle as a right wing back.
No.
So Conte basically left the team as the same because he was comfortable with that team. But you still got Cess and Reggie. So it makes no difference if you play Emerson on the right or Seth and or Reggie on the left. As far as
Interesting.
I can see,
Do you think you would
3
try
points
Assess
against
on the right?
Brighton.
Do you think you would try Assess on the right?
I don't think so. I think he's going to keep it Emerson on the right. I have Assess or Reggie on the left.
Yeah, I don't think you would want to then risk one of his
Natural,
because the left wing backs are already kind of fragile this season anyway.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a natural left wing back in there, either Reggie or Seth, and have Emerson in his usual right wing back position.
Do you think we can get by with Emerson for the rest of the season, Chris?
He's hit and miss. He's not terrible, but he's not brilliant.
He's had good games and atrocious games.
Yeah, he's never had the game where he's just in the middle. He's either played a blinder, like he did against Newcastle, or he'll have a really horrific game.
Yeah.
But so there's no middle ground with him. He either plays well or he doesn't. But I would actually persevere with him because the last few games he's done all right.
Do you think we could get by? We could still get results against the likes of a Brighton and whatnot, with him still in the team?
Yeah, I think so. We've got enough firepower up front to do that.
All right. So then, maybe last question here, Chris. Do you feel like top 4 chances then aren't really hurt by this Doherty injury?
Not really. We still got players to cover him. Okay, you got Emerson at right wing back. But as I said, the left wing back is where Doherty was playing anyway.
Yeah.
But so you got the cover there for him. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass that he's got an injury to the end of the season. But we just got to keep our fingers crossed that Emerson doesn't get a silly injury, because that's when we could be in trouble. Because don't forget, we've got Jaffa Tanganga out for long term, and he could play right wing back.
Yeah.
Unless the worst case scenario. Right. See, worst case scenario, you could probably try Bergwijn at right wing back if the worst case scenario happened.
Yeah, probably.
But at the moment, we've got a content team there, so I don't see why we should change it.
No reason. I don't think Emerson has played so poorly at any stage that you would really, not play him at all.
Have to take him off.
Yeah, that would seem a bit crazy. All right, Chris. Well, still got, plenty more people to, to get through. So any, maybe final words, for the Harris Army? Another kind of class call as always from you, Chris, but any final words of wisdom, final words of comedic nature, anything to say?
Keep believing. We're getting top 4. Smash a like, subscribe, and get your super chats and support Jack tonight, man, because he's doing a good job on his own.
Appreciate it, Chris. Do really appreciate it, my man.
And if we don't get top 4, you won't see him on the stream for a few months. I will be hiding out of the way because I jinxed it.
Yeah, well, I think we've all jinxed it, Chris. I think we would all have to take a few months off with you. Whichever deserted island you go to, we'll join you.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not. It's a desert island. I'm going to Alaska somewhere in an igloo or somewhere.
Okay. Well, we'll try to find you. That'll be harder to find you then.
All right, Jack. Have a good evening, and come on, you Spurs. Keep believing, lads, and we've got it.
Big up, Chris. Come on, you Spurs. Good to have you, my man. Class call as always from Chris. Super sticker in here from Ellie saying, my hero. I'm pretty sure it's for the Hoiberg. Big up, Ellie. Did send you the link, so hopefully you can hop on to join us for the fan show tonight. But if not, just enjoy your evening, Ellie. But do hope you're keeping okay. But we keep plowing on. We keep moving on, everybody. Let's get through the next one. I think it's Brad Matthews here. Brad, how we keeping?
Good. Thank you, Jack. Yeah, first of all, sorry to say David can't make it tonight, but it sounds like a bit of an injury, so hopefully he'll get better. So get well soon, David.
We've seen him make miraculous recoveries.
Yeah.
Dave, he's been kind of like the Ryan Sessegnon of this season. He just makes a tweak his thigh. In training, he'll be back the next day. That's what he is.
No, it's I had a bit of lower back problems myself earlier on in the year, and it's not very pleasant. So hopefully he'll be on the mend soon. But yeah, what can we say? What a weekend! What an absolute.
Where do you want to start? Would you rather? I mean, we haven't actually spoke about Arsenal's demise. I didn't give Chris, the privilege or the opportunity to talk about that. Do you want to talk about Spurs' game? I mean, where do you want to start, Brad?
Well, I will start with Man United or Everton Man United.
Good choice.
Because I have a friend in Australia and he does a live stream, like a disco live stream, and which I sort of tune into every month when he does it. And he's a Manchester United fan. So I've got that on, and I've got Man United Everton on with the sound turned down, and I'm keeping him updated in the chats what the score was. So, so that was the Thursday. And he's going, "Oh, I don't worry about Man United anymore." He sort of said, "Since Jose was there, I don't care anymore." So okay, fair enough. But and then the Arsenal Brighton game. I mean, wow, that was that was amazing. I mean, that was incredible. I mean, I'll admit to everyone right here now and apologise to everyone that I predicted that Spurs would draw at Villa and Arsenal would beat Brighton. But
I thought
how
they would
wrong
have
was
no
I?
problem beating
Absolutely
Brighton.
amazingly wrong. So, which I'm really, really pleased. But yeah, that was an upset, and then you think, well, those results have gone our way, so we've got to do the business, and we did. Although I have to say, the first half was a little bit iffy. I went to I had a social night on at one of the pubs near where I live, and I thought, well, I'll get there early and watch the game in the pub before the social night. And I actually missed the first sort of 20 minutes, unfortunately. But I was literally the only person in the pub watching the game, and like the sound was sort of low. And in the other bar, they had rugby on, which the sound was really, really high. So I'm sitting on a bar stool, which is the most uncomfortable thing ever. And the first half, I had my heart in my mouth, absolute heart in my mouth. Lloris has had a bit of criticism over the last few weeks, hasn't he? With he keeps making errors, but he kept us in the game. He really did in that first half. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and we could have been 3-1 down at half time. And yeah, I agree with what Chris was saying. The ref was awful, and the tackles that are flying in. But hey, you've got to step up to that, and we did, and I think Conte made a few changes. But the most important change that happened at half time was I went from drinking Amstel to drinking Gamma Ray, which is a stronger beer, which I needed because of my nerves of the match. And
it opened up the defense, Brad.
That proved to be the key moment in winning that game. And the funny thing was that when the second goal went in, I sort of went, but didn't really sort of shout. And the barman goes, "Oh, you're a Tottenham fan? Oh, yeah, okay, right." And then there's a family, a man and his wife, well, I presume it's his wife, and two little kids, and they're like, having the sort of family dinner in the pub with the kids having their chips or whatever. And when the third goal went in, I went, "Yes!" like that sort of thing. And the whole family went, "Oh!" The whole family sort of jumped out their seats, and everyone sort of looked round. And I sort of said to the lady, "Sorry about that." Don't worry about it.
I've been there before, Brad. I've celebrated a few goals, in the house, on vacations and whatnot. People have asked, did someone die? Things like that, because sometimes, even our shouts, right? At least in my case, not even, like normal, shouts of celebration, almost kind of like, physical, like exertions of like, like Hulk, smash mode kind of things. And so I will say I've been there, Brad, been there, my man. But what are your thoughts? Just a quick question. Question that came to mind on Arsenal. Like you said, I kind of thought that they would just bounce back from that Crystal Palace sort of performance. They would have kind of, slapped themselves across the face. Would have been like, let's get this together. Can't let slip up again. But they did slip up again, and I felt like they did. At least I was sort of watching most of that game. I was a bit distracted, but it felt like they didn't actually really deserve really to win that game. And what do you think is going on? Do you think they'll get themselves together by the next game, or do you think they really have something, falling apart over there?
I think the thing is, like, we had that bad run, and we were sort of like in depths of despair, and then we sort of changed it around. The Conte effect being a good example of why that happened. I don't know. I don't know with Arsenal. I unlike you, Jack, I can't, because I'm in England. We don't get the 3:00 kickoff game, so I wasn't watching it. But from what I heard I was actually watching the BT Sports one. They were saying that Arsenal weren't creating anything. It was just basically all Brighton, and Brighton deserved to be the winners. So, And then when I watched Match of the Day on Sunday, they literally started playing for the last couple of minutes, and that was it. But the other thing, Jack, is who cares? Who cares if they're playing badly? I think the pressure, the good thing about Saturday was...
I guess what I'm saying is, if you were to make the next prediction, do you think they're going to slip up? Do you think they'll slip up again? Or do you think they'll maybe get, 3 points all of a sudden?
It depends who they play. I'm not sure who their next game is. It might be Southampton away.
I think it is Southampton away, like Chris.
Yeah, which
like
I would have said before. Saturday would have been a difficult game, but Chelsea just put 6 past them, so maybe not. No, I think the thing is that pressure would be on Arsenal on the weekend, because on last weekend the pressure was on us because all the results went for us. Then we have to perform, and the second half was absolutely amazing against Villa. I thought it was just a really, really good performance. And once you give us that sniff, then there's no stopping us. That's what I think Conte said after the game. He said, no, you've got to get in that position and kill your opponents, or words to that effect. Have that killing mentality. Like Dr. Tottenham's no more. It's now Assassin Tottenham now. So, but we played Brighton in the early game on Saturday, and I'm confident we're going to win that. That puts the pressure on Arsenal once again, because that will put us 6 points plus goal difference ahead of them. They know they've got to get a result wherever they're playing, because after that, I think they've got like your Chelseas and the Man Uniteds, sort of these sort of teams. So they're in trouble. They're in, which, to be fair, I think we're playing well enough now to actually do it on our own terms. I don't think we shouldn't have to rely on Arsenal losing games. I think we should have enough to win enough games before the end of the season. But football's football, and things do change, and it only needs one injury, and then you look at the question.
Speaking of injuries, then Brad, what do you think of the Doherty injury? Is that one that will hurt our top 4 chances, or do you see us being completely fine?
Well, it won't help. But then I think one of the people in the chat said it's not as bad as, say, losing Romero or Bentancur or Kulusevski, Son, Kane, Højbjerg, Lloris, those sort of players. It's we can get over it, and it could work in our favour. It could bring out the best in Emerson. It could. Now he's got to step up to the plate now, so it could really bring the best out of him. I actually like the suggestion that Chris made, that if worst comes to the worst, you could possibly play Stephen Bergwijn there at that right wing back, which is an attacking option. So
there's like a few. There's like 2 maybe that you can get away with. I think you could get away with, maybe Emerson, potentially. Sorry, what I mean to say, you get away with Stephen Bergwijn as a backup. You can maybe get away with Sessegnon potentially, also like maybe cutting in off the right or something like that. But I'm kind of with you. But do you think Emerson, is he good enough to carry us through like the games like Brighton? Can he win us a game at Brighton? Will he not be too much of a liability?
I think with Emerson, I think it's a confidence thing. He's got the ability. It's just his confidence. He can run with the ball. He does all these fancy things. He can get past players. It's just that confidence to put the cross in, and that's why everyone's supporting him, including his teammates, is so important. I think it's a confidence thing. He's not the best right wing back in the world. He's not the best right back in the world. But he's not the worst either. So I think that, and he puts in an effort as well. He does put an effort in. If Conte can sort of get his positional sense better, this is the good thing about having a week to put the players through their paces, then it could work out that he could well be. It could be the making of him. But at the end of the day, it's got to work whatever, because Doherty's out now, so we can't sort of sit here and sort of feel sorry for ourselves. We've got to get over it and do it. So
yeah.
I don't think
we can feel sorry for, though, is Doherty, though. Do you feel like that is like a tough timing of the injury? I feel like he's 30 years old as well, 3-month injury, probably might need, I'm not sure if he needs surgery of any kind, but hopefully not. But what do you think, Brad?
No,
30 years old as well.
As much as you can feel sorry for a professional footballer that's only hundreds of thousands of pounds, but no, I do feel sorry. No, I do feel sorry.
Sorry, I can't find this world's smallest violin. I can't find it anywhere.
He's worked so hard to get his form back, and and from what Conte was saying, he's put such a lot of effort into doing it, and to see that taken away and it was a reckless tackle, Craig Cash, whatever his name is, that was reckless, and why it wasn't booked, I have never idea. And another one in that game was Ashley Young. That was wow, that was cynical. I didn't even realise
Absolutely.
it was the same Ashley Young. I actually asked someone in the WhatsApp group, is that the Ashley Young? I was like, yeah, it is, right. Oh, yeah, I always thought he was well, I won't say what I said in the chat, but yeah, that was poor. But as I said earlier, if you get that thrown at you, you've got to stand up to it. You've got to stand up to it. Give as good as you can get. Romero didn't get booked, which was brilliant. He has got to avoid getting sent off against Brighton, though.
Which isn't out of the realm of
Yeah,
possibility.
yeah.
Yeah,
He can get booked. That's not a problem. That won't mean a suspension. But yeah, he has to avoid getting sent off against Brighton. So
definitely. Definitely. Completely
But
agree.
looking at Derek's comment there, yeah, Brighton did play well, and yes, it is. It's not going to be easy on Saturday. Don't get me wrong, but I think, well, one, I think we're a better team than Arsenal. So yeah, I think, and I think with Kulusevski, we've got a bit more. We're not so reliant on Kane and Son to create the chances. We've
At
got,
home as well. Like I know
yeah,
maybe
oh
Brighton
yeah,
got
yeah. I
those.
mean,
I know Brighton got that result away from home, which was impressive. But I mean, they've gotten smacked at home. They've gotten smacked, away from home by us.
yeah.
Maybe
Well,
this
I
is
mean,
the time. I think there's two ways it goes. Brad. They either kind of roll over right away, or they take a stand and
yeah,
say maybe this is the day that we stand up to Spurs. But it feels like this season we've kind of beat up on them, a bit.
yeah, yeah. And I think, to be fair, I mean, the Emirates is a place you send insomniacs to cure insomnia, isn't it? So I'm not so sure that, playing at Arsenal would have been, but at Tottenham with 50, 60,000 people who are now really up for it. And they're seeing, I was watching Alistair Gold earlier today, and it's quite right what you said. And we've seen to have that team spirit between the players, the coaching staff, the fans. It's all coming together now. It is similar to what happened under Pochettino. It really is. I'm
Right.
feeling a much more confident. I mean, you could probably play some recordings of this show from months back, and I'm saying, "Oh, get rid of the whole team," sort of thing, and they're useless, never amount to anything, and it's all changed. It's changed round, and players are playing. Players like Davis and Dyer are playing well. Yeah, they're not the best in the world. Don't get me wrong, but they're doing it. They're doing it, and it's looking good. Put it that way, it's looking good. We should, if you look at all the fixtures, we should there should be enough there for us to get the top 4 spot, and that goal difference, that is so important. The
It's
fact that
helping out a lot.
the fact we've
I
turned that
think it's
around.
becoming
Yeah.
insurmountable. You think it's becoming insurmountable or insurmountable by Arsenal? Like they're just going to have to hope that we just drop points.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's destiny's in our own hand. And as I said, if we beat Brighton, that's 6 points and goal difference clear. Yeah, they've got the game in hand, but they've got to win, and one of those games they've got to play us. So, which could be a really, really important game. But yeah, no, I think it's there. I'm more confident. As I said to you, like you guys last week, I was more confident after the West Ham game as I was before the game, and I was more confident after the Newcastle game as I was before the game, and now I'm more confident after the Villa game as I was before the Villa game. So my confidence is growing and growing each week. So
I love it.
yeah, and they seem to have that team spirit now, and they are showing a bit of bottle now and a bit of metal, which I guess you really got to put down to Conte. He's sort of, his mentality seems to be seeping through, and they seem to be getting it. And as I said many times before, they're doing stuff instinctively now. They're doing it without thinking. The organisation and that. And the thing about Conte, it was just a small tactical change he did at half time, and that was just basically to play the ball a little bit longer and not to pass it out the back, because Villa were pressing high.
Don't
And that was
overcomplicate it. Just
yeah,
hit it
exactly.
long.
And
Yeah,
I have to make that pass from
from
Kane to
Romero.
Son. Romero through to Kane,
Yeah,
and you watch it, and Kane looks to see where Son is before he nods it on. It was
it's
just
not easy to
absolutely
pass it
brilliant.
with your head. I'll tell you that, like that as well. It's not easy. He
Yeah,
makes it
and
look so easy.
putting spin on the ball, which I'm presuming was by design, so the ball just stops and like a backspin playing golf. And Son. I mean, wow, 3 shots on target, 3 goals.
Lethal,
I mean, if that's
lethal.
not clinical, I don't know what is. And it
No,
was
it's brutal. It was brutal. It's like unfair, actually.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
that sort of Brad, sometimes, maybe, you try to turn up, the level on FIFA, and the robot that you're playing, you want to turn them up to the highest level. That's what it kind of felt like. Just felt like kind of unfair. Like you might feel like, you're the better team, and then they just smack you with that sort of, kind of finish. And you're just
Yeah,
like, wow,
yeah.
all of a sudden I'm 3-0 down. It really did feel that way. But Brad, 15 minutes are gone. We're going to have a few more to get through tonight. Any final words, any final things to talk
Yeah,
about?
just
Maybe.
the fourth goal, I shouted as well and scared the family again. But at the end of the game, the lady came up to me and said, "I'll have a nice evening," sort of thing. And I said, "Oh, I will now. I'm relaxed now," sort of thing. So, but yeah, no. All I want to
Are
say
you going
is,
to the Brighton one this
yeah,
weekend?
yeah. That'd be interesting.
Looking.
A 12:30 kickoff, so it'd be quite an early start to get there for that one. But then the thing about that is it's more of an afternoon after the game's finished. So so it could be a messy day. But yeah, just keep supporting the team. If you're at the games, support the players. If they make errors, keep supporting them. Don't get on their backs.
Completely
And
agree.
hello to everyone in the chat and everyone that's been saying hello in the chat. Hello back, sort of thing. I haven't been ignoring you, sort of thing. So hello to everyone that's been saying hello in the chat. And don't forget to click like and subscribe to obviously this channel, Jack's Flat Cat Euro Talk, and you'll see other people on here probably tonight. They've got their own channels, their own Tottenham channels. Please click and like and subscribe to those as well, because
Love it.
this community is so important, so
Yes.
important.
Beautifully put, Brad. Beautifully put, my man. well, really do appreciate it as always, my
Cheers,
man.
Jack.
Really
Cheers,
class
Jack. Have a
call
good
as
evening.
always. And I do hope that you can help the boys get through the result
Oh,
on, I believe it's another Saturday game, right? Another Saturday
yeah,
game
next
for
Saturday, yeah.
Brighton. We're not used to the Saturday ones as well, but hopefully you can help them power through against Brighton. Maybe meet up with Ellie and a few
Well,
others as well.
you know what? One final point. I went to the pub to watch the Liverpool Man City game yesterday. It was so brilliant to be relaxed and not care who wins, knowing that Tottenham have won, Arsenal have lost. It
Have
was
no
absolutely
stake in it.
brilliant.
Yeah, yeah,
See
I know what
everyone
you
else
mean.
getting stressed out.
I know what you mean. It's a good feeling, Brad. You're right. It is a good feeling. Well, I'll catch you next time, Brad. Catch you
Yeah,
next Monday. Really
go
do
on your Spurs.
appreciate it, brother.
Take care, mate. Bye.
Bye. Catch you. Come on, new Spurs. Well done to Brad. Well done as always. And from Chris to Brad, kind of start off with the goats, maybe move on to a few others that I'm really looking forward to speaking to as well. Class way to start it off. Dark Sun G saying, FYI, we play right before the Gooners and Man United again. LOL. Looking forward to that actually. Maybe takes a bit of pressure off them. Dark Sunchi, the fact that we get to play before, set the tone, maybe scare, the Gooners, maybe scare, the Devils, or maybe it actually worked out in our favor this time around, seeing the likes of the Gooners and Man United play before us. I'm not sure though, Dark Sunji. Do let me know which one is actually better off for us, though, my man. Ben Kaufman saying both Cash and Young should have been sent off, endangering the safety of the opponent. Refereeing standards in this country are beyond a joke. Ben, I completely agree. And I think it's exactly a violation of that. It was endangering the safety of the opponent. Certainly should have at least been a yellow card, and especially Cash's case and Tyrone Mings's case. Ashley Young's probably just should have been a send off, because we all just know what he was going for there. I completely agree. And when it comes to refereeing in the UK, or at least in England, I can't really speak to it because I just kind of feel like it sometimes can be a bit dodgy everywhere. But I would say there are certain things with the English referees where I just can't understand. There are certain referees that kind of let everything slide. There are certain referees that call absolutely everything. There really isn't that sort of consistency that you really get. Feels like in other leagues, you kind of know what you're getting. You kind of know what they're going to call. Where it feels like in the Premier League, there's certain days, everything slides. Certain days, they just call absolutely everything. That's my thing. That's my thoughts on it, Ben. But looking forward to seeing what you have to say about this, and really do appreciate support, my man. But big up, Ben Kaufman. Everybody head on over to the coffee channel as well. Kev Williams in the house saying, your thoughts on having to stick with Emerson, please. Kev, I'll give you my thoughts, my man. I've been a big backer of Emerson, so this could be a good opportunity, to kind of say that, I've been on the train of loving Emerson all along. But I am a bit worried, I'll be honest, Kev, because I feel like we just were getting that momentum. We just were getting that kind of feeling, the system is working, everything, all the jigsaw pieces started working together. The puzzle is working well. And then when the moment you kind of lose a piece in that puzzle, it just get a bit worried that maybe it might come undone. So I am kind of a bit nervous about it all. I would say, though, with Emerson is that maybe with certain games where we're just trying to keep any sort of goals from going in our net, I think he could help us out. I know there's some times when you're kind of scratching your head about what he's doing defensively, but he does offer us a lot more defensively than I know Doherty does. And he also offers us kind of that width, maybe more than Doherty does. Doherty's much better in the final thirds than Emerson, but Emerson does, know how to get up and down the pitch and help us kind of keep that width. What I really hope he does, and maybe you want me to be optimistic about, Kev, is that he maybe gets those kind of late runs into the box, to kind of get those headers like he did against Newcastle, against Matt Target. Few more of those runs maybe from Emerson, and I think we'd actually maybe like the guy a bit more. But I think he just needs to take a few more risks and also not get so rattled, especially when he's not playing things well. Because the moment that he started passing things astray, he just got so rattled, the guy. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But big up, Kev. Really do appreciate it. Those are my thoughts, and I'll have plenty more thoughts about it. It's definitely the big talking point this season. But everybody, do really appreciate you all tuning in so far. Really do appreciate everybody. As always, like I said, Dave is, not able to tune in for this one because he is having some pretty serious back problems. I do imagine he will be back very, very soon. I just think he's just going to focus on getting better tonight and have that kind of miraculous recovery by tomorrow. But hopefully, everybody, this is an enjoyable fan show. Do hit that like while you're here. Do hit that sub if you are new, and do throw in the super chats if you feel like you have something to say that hasn't been covered yet. Maybe you want to say something to a guest. Maybe you want to ask me something like Kev did. Also, a really good way to support the channel as well. But let's go on to William Kelly. William, how we keeping?
Good, Jack. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Just kind of, getting through everybody tonight, having a lot to say. And a bit of it has to do maybe with that guy Doherty, who we were just talking about, William. We've gone from, practically calling him useless like me to, thinking that he could maybe hurt our top 4 chances all of a sudden. What do you think?
I think I called him the flat-faced knacker before.
We called him Mr. Oscar, Mr. Hollywood. I've called him an impersonator of a footballer. William, I've called him everything under the sun. So I can't say that I've been a Doherty fan, but that 6-game run made us think that he could get us into top 4, and now he's gone.
Yeah, look, I get why Spurs fans are nervous when we lose players because our squad is so thin anyway. But I think we'll be okay, Jack. I really do. I think when you look at the players in general, just the camaraderie that's there now is amazing. And what Conte has done is just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, at the start of the season, when we looked at some of these players, we were like, how is this season going to pan out for us?
Yeah.
We're now in the top 4 position, which is unbelievable. But I truly believe that if Conte gets in the players that he wants, we could win the Premiership next year.
Maybe before we get to that, William, do you think he, even with Doherty out, do you think he has the players to get top 4? Do you think,
Oh, yeah, Jack, yeah, he does. Because Man United there's so much troubles at that club. They're in the shambles. They really are. And with Arsenal, Arsenal don't have a recognised striker, really, do they? Like Lacazette scored, 4 goals? What were they doing getting rid of Aubameyang? That was crazy. Absolutely crazy. He's not a manager anyway. That guy should not be managing a top club. No way. I'm just glad he's at Arsenal.
I don't even know. With lack of threat, I'm just not really worried, with lack
No,
of threat.
I'm not. I'm not worried either, Jack, because this was always going to happen with them. And especially when they got those couple of injuries as well. And you come the game against Southampton lost 6-0 to Chelsea. They're going to be so fired up to reverse that disaster against Chelsea. And Arsenal are just getting them at the very wrong time. And I wouldn't be surprised if Southampton beat them 1 or 2-0. I really wouldn't be.
What are your thoughts on that question I gave gave Brad earlier, and the fact that Arsenal, we kind of thought would actually get that result against Brighton because they would have said, like, listen, we got to get ourselves together here. Can't let that Crystal Palace result happen again. They did let it happen again. Do you think they're just
Yeah,
going to let it happen again against Southampton, or do you think they'll finally get themselves together against Southampton?
I don't know. Look, those 2 defeats can be very, very damaging. Like, maybe if they had Conte, I'd say maybe they could, but they don't. You know? No, I see their season ending. I can see Arsenal finishing 8th, to be quite honest with you. I can see them falling
Really? You
apart.
see them really
Yeah,
slipping? You see them really slipping?
yeah, Jack, I can see them falling apart.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean,
They've
that's
got young players there, but the main squad players, like, they've lost a couple of really bad injuries, and I just think, yeah, they're going to implode.
if it
Definitely.
slips that bad, William, I mean, they might as well just charge Spurs fans for that Amazon documentary because, I mean, we're all going to be, grabbing that membership, right away. But
I
what
just
are your
hope, Jack, I just hope at the end of the season that they don't sack Arteta and they keep him. Because honestly, like, when you look at Conte and you look at him, it's just like chalk and cheese, isn't it? And it's brilliant because they're never going to succeed with him in charge. So I hope they keep him again for another couple of seasons. I really
Let's say
do.
they drop points again. Let's say they drop points again to Southampton. Do you think maybe with Arteta, the fame and the attention, it all got to him a bit too quickly? Because we have to be honest, he was on a roll for a while. But do you think it then
Yeah,
just got to
but
him too
he's
quickly or
naive.
something?
There was no pressure on him, Jack. There was no
Yeah.
pressure on them whatsoever. All the pressure was on Tottenham and Man United, and everybody was saying Conte, can he get it right at Tottenham and whatnot with those players? And look what he's done. Like, and with Arteta, there was no pressure on them. They weren't in Europe. They weren't playing the extra games. They weren't in the cup competitions. They went out of them early. They weren't playing a game every week. You know what I mean? Now they're whinging about playing a game every week and so soon. It's like, yeah, they're gone, Jack. They're gone. Trust me. Southampton will beat them.
That's why I want them to get Conference League, William, so that he
Oh,
can complain
Jack,
about all those
I hear
things.
a lot of people saying they want Arsenal not to get into Europe. I want them to suffer the way we did in that Conference League.
Yes, I want them to
Because
be in
that
that
is a
competition so bad.
downgrade for any footballer. It's such a downgrade for any footballer, especially top footballers. Like, do you honestly think the likes of
Well, our problem was at
Saka
the
and
time, William,
Smith
we didn't have
Rowe?
top footballers. We didn't have top footballers, so
Yeah,
we had
well, we had
footballers who
Kane
thought they
and
were top
Son.
footballers.
Yeah, no, I know, Jack, I know, but it is like, it's for a big club. It's not good, being in that Conference League. It really isn't. Like, it's a shame on your club, really. That's what I believe.
It feels like even the way that we're talking about it now, William, feels like we kind of survived something, you and I together, talking about the
Yeah,
Conference League. We're kind of, saying it's not, you don't want to go down that path. We've been there
no,
before. You really grow
no way, man.
as a fan base, going through
Yeah.
the Conference League.
Well,
You'll learn
you
your
look at
lesson.
the whole
Love
season as a whole, Jack, how it's panned out for us. Like, we're starting off with Nuno, getting those first 3 victories, and then it all just fell apart, which I knew it would anyway. I couldn't understand why he was given the manager's role.
Yeah.
And even when Conte came in, the results started to get better and whatnot, and then we went through that patchy bit. But through it all, like, you can just see it's moving in a direction where we've been longing for a long time, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
But the difference with Conte as to Poch, and you can see it, is if he gets the right tools, he will deliver trophies. And he will deliver trophies very fast and very quick. That's why I believe, if they get the right players in the positions that he needs and he wants, that we can win the Premiership next year. Because they'll catch the likes of Liverpool and Man City off guard. They won't be expecting Tottenham to be up there.
I see what you're saying.
And if they get into a rhythm, which Conte's teams, when they get in a rhythm, it's very hard to knock them out of that rhythm.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Even when you get a goal on them, it seems like they just bounce back, as well. They know they know how to bounce back when they're punched in the mouth as well.
That's the great thing about watching this lately, is that when we do concede, we don't stress and we don't fall apart like we used to.
Yeah.
We're able to hold our ground and even a second half, like when Conte gets them in at half time, I'm sure he has a few choice words for them and the difference in the team performance. You know what I mean? Like looking against Newcastle and now against Aston Villa. I mean, Aston Villa, I know a lot of people are upset over the tackles and stuff like that. And the referee was not good, Jack, you know. That first challenge on Matt Doherty, you know, that for me, like how he didn't get booked for that, I'm just, you know, and if he had booked the player there and then, that could have put a stop to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but he didn't. He just let it go, and the tackles that were going in, and it's fine. I
Nope. Lost William there. I was gonna had a really good thing I was gonna say to him in that moment, but maybe we just get him back in just a second, and then we'll continue on that conversation. Faz Rafar saying, "I disagree with William. In Arteta we trust." This is honestly like William throwing in those, don't throw shade at my Winky. Faz is taking a page out of William's book here. Really do appreciate it, William. And I must say, let the process continue. Let it continue, my man. Let the process continue, because with Arteta, I would say he looked really good at one spell, but maybe when you win that manager of the month, you just get that curse. But big up, Faz. J. Coe with a generous super chat saying Kane missed 55 consecutive free kicks. Why not let the best finisher Sonny take him? Egos of Kane and Dyer are getting in the way. Good point there, Jay. Good point there. Listen, with Harry Kane, I don't think he's ever had any business to do with the free kicks. I think it probably has a bit to do with ego. Also, maybe just has a bit to do with the fact that he is the best striker of the ball in the entire club. And so there's that logic that maybe he could just do it, for free kicks. With Eric Dyer, I would actually make the argument he's the best free kick taker in the squad. Every single time he takes it, it's either close or it's hitting the bar. I'm actually quite disappointed he's never scored a free kick for us recently, but I think Eric Dyer is probably the best of them. Sonny, I'd be fine to see him take him too. Maybe a bit closer range. Sonny would actually be pretty good, but for maybe the longer range kind of, free kicks that really require, a good player to, really knock it in and power it in, I would say Eric Dyer is actually quite quality, Jay, but really do appreciate it. And I can completely agree in the case of Kane. I do think it's a bit of an ego, and I think it's also just the fact that he is the best striker of the ball in the entire club. So by logic, you would then think he'd be good at free kicks, but apparently not. Apparently not, Jay. Really do appreciate it though. Is William back? Haven't seen William back. So we'll take this other super chat from DarkSMG. And then we'll finish off. Take this super chat from DarkSunG, and then if William isn't back by then we'll have to move on to the next guest. But DarkSunG saying Gooners, Southampton, Blues, Man United, West Ham, Leeds, 0 wins before the North London Derby means Spurs fourth is 100% decided, because that is more 15 points dropped as long as we get 10 points. So with the Gooners, they're facing Southampton, then they're placing Chelsea, Man United, West Ham, Leeds. So if they were to get Southampton, do they drop points there? Maybe they drop points there. Chelsea, I could easily see them dropping points. Man United, I don't know. I actually see them beating Man United. Man United are that dreadful. West Ham, it could go either way. Leeds, maybe Leeds nowadays could maybe grab, some points away from them. It's looking like a DarkSunG. If we just continue down this path where we just put on the horse blinders, put on those racing blinders, and we just keep going for 3 points, then we will probably just make it so that the North London Derby really has no meaning at all. And I completely agree with you. And I feel like maybe they lose 3 of those games and we win 3 of those. I don't know. They could probably drop points the next up. They could probably actually get 0 points out of the next 3 games, DarkSunG. And if we were to get even 6 points out of the next 3 games, I think that would mean that the race is probably over. But that's my thoughts on it, DarkSunG. Do really appreciate it. William Kelly looks like he's not back, which is a real shame. Was really enjoying that, actually, that conversation. But I guess we do move on. We do power on. And this is going to be fun because I believe it's not, I don't think it's a first, but looking forward to it. It is Bobby K.
Good afternoon, Jack. How are you today, buddy?
Doing well, doing well. powering through, talking to so many people these days. I even kind of forgot who I was talking to almost 30 minutes ago. But
Well, you've been left alone today. You've been left alone. Poor Mr. Harris has done his back in, hasn't he?
yeah, he was
See?
struggling today. He was struggling. He was struggling even to get his words out about Matt Doherty, which you knew he probably had a lot to say. So
Yeah,
then you know
especially
he's
an
not
Irish
doing
boy.
well. Then you know he's not doing well. But,
You know, and it's sad to see a guy like David go down because, you know, he's just energy and it's the kind of energy you feed off and it makes you feel better, man. So, David, we miss you, brother, but thank God your partner in crime is here to carry the load for you and make everybody smile and just give us information that we don't know where the hell this man gets it from. I don't know. I
find
don't
it
know.
somewhere
Jack, man,
under the couch
honestly,
cushions.
brothers, I seriously salute you. Every time I'm listening to you, I'm like, I'm scared to come on a show with Jack because I just make myself sound like a fool. Like he just knows so much. Like, you know, what can you add to what Jack is saying? What can you add? You know, you guys, when you work together and everything like that, you're just so knowledgeable. It's fantastic to see. But I will support you in the one thing that I know we've been a little bit afraid of. Everybody else has kind of addressed everything else. So I was trying to think about what the hell am I going to talk about? You know, after Chris, after William, after Brad, what are we talking about? I will support you with the Royal thing. And I want to ease people's fears and doubts because I think we're going to be completely fine. The man has started in that position the last 2 games. We have scored 9, conceded 1. Yeah, we haven't looked that great to start off. We've had to kind of start in a slower gear and build ourselves up, get to the halftime and everything like that, and then get Conte to really shove them into gear and then go from there. That being said, though, the major difference in that whole equation has been the fact that now Royal has reliability behind him. With Romero being back there, he almost makes up for the deficiencies that Royal creates. So although we see Royal's defensive abilities are not that great, Bodro, how are you? Are not that great. We have somebody that's filling the gap. You know, it's like the massive difference between when you put Winks and Højbjerg in the middle. Højbjerg doesn't have enough in him to fill the gap because Winks leaves such a massive gap where Royal leaves a bit of a smaller gap and Romero has enough in him to be able to cover that gap. So I'm seeing that yes, it still kind of makes us weak on that side, and it's not that weak though. I'm not that terrified going to what we have because of what our front three are doing. So as long as we could just keep the ball out of that back third and keep pushing it up. Like, we can't do what we did with Villa in the first half. We cannot let a stronger team have those kind of, we cannot let a team have. Sorry, throw that back up. What is he talking about? My kids. This guy's just give it all.
Get your kids out of my mouth.
Get your kids out of my mouth, Kuva. Get my effing kids out. No, I love Kuva, man. He's awesome. He went on. I don't know if you saw Jack Boy started up a channel the other day on Sunday night there. So it's up, it's running, it's going. Their first video is there. Well, I won't say anything.
Send me the link in the private chat so we can get, some subs over there, as soon as possible.
Oh, man, now you're making me do like IT shit here. Where are the kids? Kids,
well,
I need your
when
help.
you get the chance. Maybe you asked me.
I actually finally did it properly. I think I might be able to do it quickly here if I did it right.
All right, we'll throw it in there.
Yeah?
We'll throw it in there now, and then we'll throw it in there.
That worked? Yeah,
time.
I did it right. Oh,
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Better at this stuff. It's you know what? It's just so I lost my train of thought. Where are we at now, though? So recovery. We talked about
Emerson, my man. We talked about Emerson.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm not concerned about the gaps he leaves. I was more worried about the other side with Doherty being down and the fact that the left side is now weak. But then, as bad as it sounds, the timing is not that bad because Cess and Reggie have come back to us. So with Cess, shockingly, I'm surprised he didn't come in the last game. But I can see him now coming in against Brighton. Who plays on there? Is it Basuma that plays on their left that's going to be against Royal, or is it Cucurella on that side that we have to worry about?
I think it's Cucurella, yeah.
So both of them have been a threat. Cucurella against Arsenal was great. He had a great game against him. He's a fantastic player. And what a head of hair. How can you not love that?
He looks like a pirate.
Just something about him.
He does look like a pirate.
Yeah, just something about him I just really, really am a fan of, and he leaves everything out on the field. He just seems like one of those kind of players. So that's the only thing I think we have to really worry about. We did a really good job at, the fact that we just played them a few weeks ago. We nullified them completely. We did a really good job of running the game against them, in their house. We were where we traditionally have not done well. and the fact
Well
that
said.
that happened when we were kind of having that slip of form with the in and out, the inconsistent form, for us to go into this game now, I think our form is there. The front three are just, to say they're on fire is a complete understatement. The way that ball movement, like that third goal, that Romero sending the ball up and Kane, which is that straight into, that was a FIFA goal. Boom, 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 gone, goal. That was the shit we were screaming for in the first half. That why can you not please play the ball out of the back? Can you stop passing it to Villa players? They're wearing a different frigging color jersey, guys. Don't you know which players are on your team? This, the kids I coach at that are 5 years old can figure that end of it out. Okay, the white jersey's my guy. The red jersey's the other guy. I'm supposed to pass to the white jersey. Okay, I can do that. But for some reason, in the first half, we didn't even have that basic fundamental down. So I don't know why the last two games we've come out like that. For this one, I really think that the mental aspect of the game caught up with us, that we knew the results of what had happened before us. I really think that played into the way we started the first half.
Consequence.
Yeah. So what, the pressure is on. Guys, we have the chance here to go in and squeeze in the top four. Arsenal's lost. United have lost. We have an opportunity. We need to seize it. The window's open. And it seems like when our guys see that window of opportunity is open, we seem to flutter. We seem to get nervous. We seem to get scared. We don't play properly. We don't play the way we know they can play. They don't play the way they know they can play. So that all is up here then, right? That being said, Conte grabbed them in the halftime, grabbed them all, sat them all down and said, fellas, settle the F down. Chill.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about Nick Berry-Sean is a consistent man that says this statement. Don't look at the other teams. Don't worry about what they're doing. Let's do what we need to do. Let's worry about our house. Let's
worry about
our
us.
house. Don't worry about the neighbors. You know what I mean? And that's it. So I think he really kind of grabbed them and said, sort yourselves out, sort your mental state out. Let's get out there and do what we know we can do. We know that they're just playing dirty, nasty football. They were playing. I'm not going to discredit them completely, because there's no reason we couldn't have gone into halftime down possibly 3-0, or at the very least drawing 1-1, because they had that free kick right at the 49th minute, 50th minute, with that ridiculous extended half, and that hooked in, and Lloris just got to it, kind of thing, enough to just get it out, and then they hooked it out. But that scared the hell out of me. That being a Tottenham fan, that
First half was not comfortable.
No, up until the third minute, it was 4 minutes. Sorry, because we were celebrating a bit, and then after that, the next 44 minutes were just. We were at the pub, all of us, Daigle, the boys, everything, the kids, quite a big crew together. I don't know, Tottenham on tour, they put up a little after the video of the pub thing, and it was great, and we're all there, and you're just so tense. It was like it was almost like a library situation where it's like everybody's just quiet. You could hear a needle drop in a pub. You know what I mean? And it's like, but the second half, I couldn't hear my kid talking to me right beside me because the
elation.
It was just we just went to this high and everything like that. But then that's the life of being the Spurs fan, right? You know what I mean? That the roller coaster that it is being a Spurs fan. So it was great that we had that second half, but I'd really like to see them come out and play better against Brighton, and I think we will, simply because we are first this week. We don't have to look at anybody else. The table is not going to change before we play. We are in control of our destiny, so there's nothing really to put that pressure on them to say, you have to kind of go something. You have to look at, this is what they did. This is what our players have nothing to look at. There's no Twitter feeds they have to worry about. There's no YouTube channels that they're going to have to go watch highlights of a different team and everything. So I can't see them not coming out and firing up in front of that home crowd. We're at home. The atmosphere is just absolutely crazy. The guys, all these YouTube community people, you wonderful, wonderful family that I've been adopted into here, has been kind enough that when they're at the game, some guys are video chatting me. Mostly it's Nick. Got to give a shout out to my man, and he's video chatting, and everybody's there. Iggy, Stel, David. When you were back there as well, you were too busy. You were busy at the time of the game because you were, I think, just kid in a candy shop kind of thing. So, but everybody's waving, they're saying hi, and the atmosphere out there is just like shit, man, I want to hop on a plane. I'll be there in 7 hours, guys. Can you just help me hold on to kickoff for a bit? But it's great. And I'm hoping that the team feeds off that energy now, because that's what's going to make our house a fortress. That's what we really need. We need them to know that when we are here, we have that extra man. The fans are behind us. They're not jeering. And in reality, this is the best thing about that January transfer window. Getting rid of Lo Celso and Dombele, Dele Alli, the players that we had reason to jeer off the field now, we're gone.
Yeah.
So we as fans now finally can say, okay, bad eggs are out. Let's at least support the ones that are here to make an effort and play for us. And at the end of the day, okay, the quality might not be there, but the intention is. And it's like I've said before, like I know a lot of people like to hate on Winks and everything like that, but I only give credit to Winks because he as far as I'm concerned, he does try. He
made the cut over other players, which you have to give him credit for.
But that's all. I think he, the teacher's pet mentality, trains well, this and that and everything like that. So makes himself look good when he needs to. That old, I don't know if you remember Leave It to Beaver, the Eddie Haskell thing. And hi, Mrs. Beaver, I'm fantastic. I'm the greatest kid you'll ever meet. You know what I mean? And then behind closed doors or whatever, when he's on the field, it's a different story. But I don't want to harp on the guy because at the end of the day, he's played for the badge. He plays for the club. He loves the club. He comes out and makes an honest effort. Just unfortunately, he's just not at the level we want to see our players at. He's just at a lower team level. And I hate saying that about one of our players because as far as I'm concerned, if you put our badge on and you've come out with some pride in that badge, we should have some pride in you as fans. So that's the only thing that really bothers me about trying to put him down or even discredit him at the end of the day. But when you see what Bentancur's done just coming in, and immediately shown that he is leaps and levels above this man, it kind of makes you not have any sympathy for him because at the end of the day, you've had your opportunity for years to raise your level. You've had the opportunity. We expected it from you. You were a prospect from years back, but you just haven't. Now, is it just lack of ability? Is it commitment? Is it whatever? But then you look at Ndombele, waste of space, basically, all the talent in the world, but you just don't want to fucking apply yourself. And it's sickening when you see a player like that. That's more heartbreaking to me than Harry Winks is.
Yeah, it is actually more heartbreaking, to be fair, than the Harry Winkses. And the reason the Harry Winkses have made the cut are because, to be honest, as much as maybe we don't like a teacher's pet makes it sooner over, like the class clown, which was maybe the case in, Tanguy and Gio. I do have just want to get your quick thoughts maybe on the fact that I think Newcastle as well as Aston Villa, you could say, were both really poor first halves. And then, we're overwhelmed by unbelievable second halves. Do you see that happening again, maybe with Brighton?
No, not this week. Only because just going back to that fact of we are first. We're playing first. There's no pressure going on us into the game. The table's not going to change before we kick off. We're going to change the table, or we're going to change our position structure, settle into the fourth place area kind of thing and secure ourselves by getting another 3 points. And that's what we should really be concentrating on is what we're going to do in the table. Then let's put that pressure on these guys to kind of, to falter and let us gain that gap. Right. So, but I know, you know what, buddy, I know he's been waiting back here and I just saw the message just popped up and I think you see that too. What did you have him queued next?
Yeah, KPV is on after you, though. I mean, don't worry. Still got a bit of time, though. Think.
I know, but he said his battery's dying, and I love listening to Kyle. Sometimes, I don't mind giving up a couple of minutes of my time. So I don't want Kyle's battery to die, and then he doesn't get to get a couple of points at. You know what I mean? Like I said, Jack, my throat's killing me anyways. I shouldn't be doing this. My wife's going to see this and say, "I thought you weren't feeling well. Get your ass back to bed," kind of thing, right? I'm locked in the man cave and I haven't got tested. I don't know what it is. I hope it's just a sinus thing, but she's just locked me down here for the day kind of thing and leaving my food outside like a prisoner and I get the bell rang when it's ready kind of thing. So it's not that bad. And there's the link, guys. Come check these guys out. The three Spurs boys. It's just a simple post-game wrap-up thing from a kid's perspective. We've reached out to community members and we've got some things lined up already for the next few shows, which is outstanding to me. People have already contacted us and said, yeah, they're committed to it. So we're looking to get some more kids in here on every. So Dan, TFC, if you're out there, I'm trying to connect with you, buddy. You've got to get you in here, and we've got some other kids coming on already. So just good things. I'm really looking forward. I'm really, really proud of my boys and really excited for what they're doing here. It's supposed to be a school project, but I think they're going to carry on with it. And I appreciate all the love and support from every single one of you in the chat, in the YouTube community. Jack, Irish Hotspur, David, he was messaging me, giving so much support and love. And God bless you all. Thank you. And
bless you, Bobby.
Come on, you Spurs. Kyle, get in here and start get us laughing, brother, before your phone dies, man.
I'm looking forward to KPV.
All
Really
right,
appreciate
brother.
it,
Take
Bobby.
care, man.
Way too kind, my man. Way too kind. Everybody, do head on over to that link. I'll catch you soon, Bobby, my man.
Appreciate it, Jack. Take care, man.
Take care, brother. Take care. Really, everybody, class from Bobby K. I mean, just gave up his spot, for the last few minutes as well, over to a guy, so we will get him on. KPV, how we doing, my man? How we doing?
I'm good.
What's going on? I mean, what do you have to say, maybe about, maybe Arsenal? I think you probably have a few things to say about them, a few things to say about the game. I know the phone is dying, so, maybe what's on your mind? Well, what do you have to say, before the phone dies, my man?
Yeah, just want to say that glad the Scum lost and glad West Ham and Man United lost. So, good weekend and good week. So, yeah, brighten up our weekend. And, yeah, we've got Brighton at home, who we already beat a couple of weeks ago. And so, yeah, and I expect Kane to score. So, hopefully he can get on the score sheet. And another Son hat trick, but maybe 4. He's only 3 behind Salah, but if he scores 4, then he goes ahead with 21. So, yeah, let's hope Son can get 4, then he'll be ahead of Salah with 21. But he's winning a golden boot anyway, because I know he's never challenged for it, Kane has, but maybe it's time for Son to win it. So, Kane's had
for
his.
Sonny to get his own golden boot. Exactly. I like it,
time for Son to get the Premier League golden boot, because this is best season in the Spurs shirt since last season. He had 17 goals, and this one he has. So, yeah, like Arsenal can say goodbye to top 4, because they've lost 2 games, and now they're doing what we did. We lost 2 home games, but they've lost their former captain, and they've lost to a guy who's never lost to them. That is Graham Potter. So, yeah, they just can't beat him. So, and
do you think Arsenal are succumbing to the pressure? Do you think they're cracking under the pressure?
Yeah, they're cracking under the pressure, I think, because they've got Southampton, then Chelsea, then Man United, then I don't know, but they got to come to us on the 12th of May, and top 4 could be wrapped up before the North London derby, as Iggy said. So, it's going to be wrapped up before the North London derby. So, Arsenal can say goodbye to that and go into the Conference League, and have the same problem we did.
Exactly.
Yeah, suffer like we did. But, I just want to get back in the Champions League, man. Hear that music and play under the lights. Like European lights at the new stadium.
Beautiful stadium, beautiful Champions League music,
Yeah,
beautiful lights. Harry Kane as well, with the fresh haircut probably for it as well. When you think about it, Kyle, it'd just be exactly what we want to see.
The haircut. Yeah, add the haircut, I think. I like it. He's, brilliant. Yeah, and
just want to say quickly, William Kelly.
Yeah, probably have that as well. But
what are your thoughts what are your thoughts, Kyle? Maybe on how the Aston Villa players, condone themselves, and the referee. I thought, Kyle, he didn't bring his cards, but he also forgot to bring his handcuffs. It felt like for that.
Like he should have. Brought his cards out, but none of their players.
Card out and then the cuffs.
Yeah, he should have brought the cuff with him. He must be a Villa fan. Why is he not giving them red? I watched on Bobby early on. Tottenham away on their YouTube channel, and still said that Cash got the ball, not Doherty. But watch the game back still. You saw Matty Cash got Doherty first, not the ball, and Bob Spur is 100% right. He's always right, and so Daniel Levy needs to back Conte, and if Daniel Levy gets the players that Conte wants, then we can close the gap to the top 2 who played yesterday, and they draw. So, next season we can win it. Then that will just make us all happy, and I'll be at the front of that parade. I'm going to the parade. It'll be probably come outside of Tottenham. They'll probably drive past, and yeah, I'll be going. I'll be screaming mad, and yeah. So it's So if Daniel Levy can back him, the Italian job, Paratici, Conte, Daniel Levy needs to back him. Then the title will be ours next season. So just
What do you
back
think
it.
about Brighton this weekend? With Harry
Yeah.
Potter, is he going to get another humbling? Kyle, because Harry Potter, he did give you did give Arsenal a good game. Do you think he'll do that against us, or do you think we'll give him another spanking?
I think we'll give him another spanking. We beat them 2-0 a couple of weeks ago, and they've not beaten us since last season. We lost 1-0. Trossard is now starting to find form. I know he hasn't scored, since New Year's Day or whatever, but he's now starting to score against the big teams. Arsenal, not a big team. They were fighting for relegation at the start, and they're moaning about playing it every week. Stop moaning. You have to play every week. It's not our fault. They need to keep our name out of their mouth, and Arteta needs to keep our name out of his mouth, or he's gonna lose. And they might as well just say goodbye to top four. It's already over, but it's gonna be wrapped up before the North London derby. So it's
Do you think we'll drop points again, Arsenal, this weekend?
Yeah, they've got Southampton away. You expect Arsenal to win, but I know Southampton. They were on a good run before then, but they got battered 6-0 by Chelsea. So Southampton will probably want to win this game. Arsenal Hootle has been Arsenal before, but that was when they had Charlie Austin. But I hope Southampton can at least beat Arsenal. Then they'll be 6 points and 10 plus goal difference behind us. So
yeah,
I expect Southampton to win, but yeah, hopefully results can go our way again. We play before they do, so their record of 3 o'clock wins is over. The streak is over. They wanted to keep that streak on, but the streak's over.
What are your thoughts on maybe the fact that Man United also lost? Is it over for them as well? Or have they kicked off, the boots and replaced it with sandals? Have they given up, on top four, Kyle?
Yeah, I think they've given up on top four. I don't know why they brought Ronaldo back, because they brought Ronaldo back to win trophies, but that's embarrassing. And Ronaldo should be ashamed for smashing the poor kid's phone.
Yeah, you're right.
He was only doing what he wanted to do, telling Ronaldo to go back home. But yeah, then he does that, and he's already apologized. But sorry doesn't mean anything. Should be charged anyway. They're probably already looking into it, Man United and the Merseyside police. So hopefully he'll be charged. But with the Irish Cafu out, Doherty, which it probably hurts. But look what Conte did with Victor Moses when he was the boss of Chelsea. He played him at right wing back, and they won the league. So I think it's time for Bergwijn to play there. I think Bergwijn to play. I know Wales not that brilliant, but I think I'd rather Bergwijn play there, because he scored against Leicester 2 times and came off the bench against Newcastle. So maybe I'd put him there ahead of Emerson Royale, but we're not.
You would train Bergwijn for the rest of these 7 games instead of do Emerson? I like it. Clever.
Yeah, I think I'd probably prefer Bergwijn.
Bergwijn would get the games then, right? Fewer Snapchats, coming from him then, Kyle,
Yeah.
he'd be happy.
He's I remember, was it last season, he got abused by our own fans because of those 2 misses at Anfield he missed, and he had to disable the comment. But don't know why we abused him, but I don't know why our own fans would do that. He did not deserve, but
Shameful.
he's not nice. But yeah, he did miss, but we were I think we went 1-0 up at that time, and the winner of that game would go top, but that's not happened now. We were challenging for the league. But yeah, games went not right. But this time we have a manager who's won everywhere he's been. But if Daniel Levy gets the players that Conte wants, then we'll win it next season. Like, yeah, so let's finish the season strong, finish in the top 4, and then get back under the lights, European nights, and I'm going to the new stadium again anyway next season. Like, but
I love it. Are you going to
yeah,
Brighton this weekend, Kyle?
but no, I'm not going to Brighton game because but I'll be watching
You're
anyway.
saving it up for the Champions League nights. Good man, my man.
Yeah, I'm saving up for the European night. I've not been to a European game but hopefully we can get in the Champions League. Then I don't want Bayern Munich because they battered us 7-2, and that was on the Poch. But Leipzig, no thanks. But I wouldn't
No
mind
German
Villarreal.
teams by the sounds of it. Yeah, no
I'd
German
love
teams.
Ajax in the group, Villarreal and whoever, but just as long as it's not Bayern Munich or Leipzig, then I'll be happy. But yeah. All right, I'm gonna go because I know you probably got. Or was it Ian next?
Yeah, we got a few more, but Kyle, I've really appreciated, you coming on. Hopefully we haven't killed, the phone, killed the battery. But looking
And I'll
forward to this
see-
weekend, I
yeah,
imagine,
I'll see you
Kyle.
this weekend.
Any final words, maybe for the Harris Army here?
Yeah, and everyone, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, this best channel, alongside Real Talk on TV and everyone. So
Love it.
yeah, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and I just want to wish Dave Harris to get well soon, and hopefully we'll see you this weekend for the Brighton game, my man. And as always,
Big up.
Levy out. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Kyle. Great
Big up,
send off.
man.
Best send off of the
Yeah,
night, my man. Best send
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Best send off of the night, brother.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
good to see you.
All right. Good to have you, Kyle. And
Good to have
it's
you,
good as
man.
always, my man. And you
Yeah.
always kill it on the pre-match pump up. So people can find you over there with
Yeah.
Dave. They can
Yeah.
find you on the pre-match pump up. Really
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on, Kyle. Good to
Yeah.
have you, my man.
Good to have you, mate.
Class from Kyle there. And I would say, everybody, if you really liked Kyle, like I always do check out the pre-match pump ups because I do think he's often there with Dave. So I would say do check that out because I think he offers a lot over there. And I think he's just an absolute hoot, especially before the games. He's kind of almost more optimistic than even Dave is. Probably even outshines Dave in that regard. So I would say if you want to see more Kyle, do head on over to the pre-match pump ups. William Kelly, it's completely okay, my man. I'm sorry. It feels like maybe the StreamYard or something like that might be blowing up the phone or making it too hot or something. I do apologize, man. And we were in the middle of a really good conversation as well, William. So I do apologize, brother. I do apologize. Hopefully we get you on next time, my man. J. Coe saying, wish fast recovery to the biggest Harry Kane fan. Big up, JK. J. Coe, really do appreciate it. It's very kind. And yeah, the biggest HK fan in the world. Hopefully he'll make that miraculous recovery by tomorrow. But really do appreciate that. That's very, very, very generous. But we will move on to the next one. Let me just check the list that I just made. I think we're actually, looking forward to this one. We have Amir coming on, the guy who always has good things to say. We always have good conversations. Amir, how are we keeping?
I'm very well, Jackie. I'm very well. How are you getting on? How are things over there?
Doing all right. Getting through a lot of people, tonight. But I will say what's nice is everybody has, kind of different things to say, which I could definitely say is usually the case with you, especially Amir. So I don't know. I think I might just leave it to you. Where do you want to start? I mean, where do you want to go? We could talk about Arsenal's demise. We could talk about, the Villa game. Where do you want to start, my man?
So I think, first of all, we should take a little look at the Villa game because, honestly, we weathered the storm in that first half. You know, Lloris really pulled out some amazing stops. As people said here, he was incredible. He's just proving why he's our captain and why we keep signing him on for longer at the club. And long may it continue, as long as he's healthy, happy. I'd like to see him at the club for another few seasons and then look at bringing in someone, to replace him, maybe even a little bit before. So Lloris can, train him up and show him what it's about. And then second half, look, we have a wizard of a manager. It's just, it really is incredible to have Conte at our club. And, he obviously put a rocket up everyone's ass there in the dressing room. And they came out and just did the business, and I was just delighted. I mean, how great is it to see our team, 2-0 up after Kulusevski's goal, and then you're relaxed for the rest of the game. A couple more goals are coming. And
what did you think, though, Amir? Do you think it was one of those? I felt like it was one of those games where it was like, I've never seen a game where you kind of felt like, I'm not sure if we deserve that, and you won 4-0. Did it feel like the same way for you, where you're kind of like, you look at the scoreline and you're like, not a reflection of the game?
Yeah, it wasn't a true reflection of the game, but I think our professionalism and our, as Conte calls it, our killer instinct. He wants his players to be
Shine
killers. And that's what won us the game. There was a chance, boom, Kulu no mistake in that bottom corner, no problem. Songy, boom, 3 shots, 3 goals. Kane with the little headers, just incredible, really incredible performance. And I'm just so glad we got those 3 points. And with all the other teams, dropping points, like you said, the Woolwich Wasters, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I actually saw that goal come in. The second goal that Brighton scored was a beauty. That went in there. So
yeah,
just overall a great weekend for Spurs and the fan base. And I think now it's really about being professional. We've got 7 games left. We go into Brighton, we get that early goal, we get them demoralized, we smash them out the park, and we take it game by game now. And then we let Paratici and we let Conte the summer, and we as fans put pressure on Levy to get that checkbook out, give Conte exactly what he wants, and prepare us for next season.
Absolutely.
So that we're challenging on all fronts.
Absolutely. I completely agree, Amir. I mean, you were kind of saying earlier, having that killing attitude, being killers, like Conte was saying. I thought Sonny was probably the best example of that. 3 shots, 3 goals. I mean, the guy, I think Sean said it the other night, Amir, the smiling assassin. I mean, what do you think of that?
Oh, I love it. Look, honestly, he plays the game with a smile on his face.
But he's brutal.
He's a killer. Honestly, he's our best signing we've made in the past 20 odd years. He's incredible. And long may it continue. The partnership with Kane is incredible. Kulu's come in to that triple threat now, and he seems to be coming into his way and just really performing fantastically for a 21, 22-year-old kid. He's really taken like a duck to water, really like a duck to water. And I'm just so glad to see it, come through. And the whole fan base also needs to now really get behind the whole team, whether it's Emerson Royale, or whether it's, Bentancur, whether it's, even Songy, there was people there a few weeks ago having a go and, he's not on top form. He's not this, he's not that. Guys, we got to remember these guys are all human. They have emotions, feelings, just like the rest of us. And
they have dips and spells and, rises and falls like the rest of us. You're spot on.
Exactly. Think about it, every day at work, it isn't always the best. These guys really are rising to the occasion now, and they're realizing, personally, what I think is they're realizing how lucky they are to have Conte at the helm, and they're feeding off that. If you see, I think it was William earlier said about the camaraderie that the team has at the moment, and that's true.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the team together. You see them hugging each other after goals. You see them, everyone's playing for each other. Everyone's trying to assist. I mean, Kane's not even scoring goals, and he's fine. He's happy about it. He's assisting here, assisting there. It really is a joy to see.
You're absolutely spot on. And, with the whole team, being kind of behind it. Do you feel like maybe, are they going to get, a bit ahead of themselves, with this upcoming fixture, Amir? Are they going to think, we're the big dogs, heading into 4th, and they might slip up against Brighton? Or do you think, they know the task at hand, right now?
Well, this is the thing, right? The Spurs of
I think
old,
they could, I think Villa, they thought maybe they're going to slip up here. Feels like Brighton, I'm still not convinced. They might still slip up. What do you think?
This is the thing. The Spurs of old, you would have been worried. You would have been this whole Spursy thing, Dr. Tottenham, You know, maybe Brighton nick a late goal and it's 1-1 or
Right.
2-2 or something like that. But honestly, with Conte and with the way we're playing at the moment, I can see us, you know, winning by 2 or 3 goals, because we're banging them in for fun. We're banging them in for fun, and you know, everyone just seems to be playing for each other, and the system seems to be working really well. I was lucky enough to be at the Brighton game, the FA Cup match where we won. And honestly, like Brighton are a decent side. They're a decent side. They play okay football, you know, here and there. But they're no way near us. They're nowhere near us. They're a mid to low, you know, table team
Mhm.
that we should be smashing out of the water. Sure, that they, you know, they'll beat the Woolwich Wasters. You know, that's fine. That's good for us. And they'll do well against the likes of Burnley and whatnot. But we should have that one in the bag. It's all about the professionalism. It's all about getting that early goal, settling ourselves down, playing the Conte way, creating the chances, getting the fullbacks bombing on. If it's Reggie and Cess, or if it's Royale and Cess, or Royale, whoever it may be,
Yeah.
as long as they're bombing down and creating the space and creating chances.
Amir, you said something earlier, which is exactly what I'm looking for, which is something different, you know, that hasn't been said. You said something about how they maybe know that being under Conte right now is a rare privilege, if not like an opportunity for them. Do
It
you think
is.
maybe they're learning the lesson then from before, where with Pochettino, maybe they took Pochettino for granted, they took Jose for granted? Do you think they're like maybe third time's the charm, you know, more or less, where they're starting to realize like we can't just let this guy also, be fed up and leave?
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, Jackie. You know, people realize, like, if you think of any type of work you've done, or even in school, or any kind of system or something you've been a part of, if the person above you is treating you with respect, is showing you the way, is giving you the tools that you apply yourself, your job better, and you succeed.
Hmm.
As Conte's come in, we've seen the development of the team. You know, it took a while. It took a few months. It took him getting the players from running this much to up there with the fitness, and it took time for them to learn the system. But now we're literally, you know, picking the fruit off the trees that he's grown, and it looks incredible. It looks incredible. I mean, when have we ever been banging teams out 4-0, 5? You know, it
Even
really
when
is
we don't
incredible.
deserve to win by that much, that's what real teams do
Yeah.
as well.
Exactly. You win when the going gets tough. You know, Barcelona did it the other night in the last minute, and that's where we need to be, to bring back the glory days, to get back
Spot
to
on,
the
Amir.
top of football in elite. Those are the things that we need to be doing, and I think that's why Conte took the job. He knows he can be deemed one of the best ever managers if he wins a Premier League with Spurs, or gets to, you know, FA Cup finals and Champions League finals. Incredible. You know, his name will go down in history. And honestly, I can't remember who it was that was on earlier that said we should be going for the title next season. He's spot
William
on.
Kelly. William Kelly.
William Kelly, he's spot on. We
Yeah.
should, if we have the right summer, and if Levy gets that wallet out, then we should be battling for the title like we were a few years ago under Poch.
Do you think the reason why we should be is just because the manager is good enough, and maybe having Son and Kane is good enough? What do you think? What makes us good enough to challenge for a title, do you think?
It's not just Conte, it's not just Song and Kane, it's also the other players that we've brought in. If you look at Romero, the guy's a
Yeah.
beast. The guy is an incredible centre back, and he's also intelligent and can be coached. Conte said to him, you can't be getting these yellow cards anymore. You cannot be going and getting these suspensions. You've seen it in the last few games. He's not been getting booked. He's learning how to not get booked. We've got the other guy, Bentancur, Uruguayan international. Silky, beautiful football. Absolutely
Very
incredible on the
silky.
ball. Very silky. We've got Kulu, who's just come in and you know, provided an outlet down there on the right, assisting goals, scoring goals. So we have so much there. You know, Stevie B as well. I know some people that I don't know, they might think he's not that good, or I think he's fantastic for the short
Quality
periods.
backup right now.
Yeah, quality backup, and he's scoring goals. When he goes off to Holland, he's scoring goals for fun. So I really do think that it's not just about Song and Kane. And I know there's a special someone out there who thinks, well, a Kane team or Kane this and that. It's very, very far from the truth. It's very, very far from the truth. And honestly,
he hasn't scored, the last 12 goals. He hasn't even scored in the last 12 goals.
That's it. And yeah, he's providing and he's assisting, but it's the whole team now that is really flourishing. And if we can make those little additions, and that's about the additions in the summer, where do you think we need to strengthen to be pushing for that title next season?
I think the wing back, right wing back is where we just need to. If you ask me, Amir, where do we need to spend the big money? I think it's probably right wing back. What's weird though is that I think you would probably know this well, because I think you know a bit of European footballers out there as well. There aren't really like a lot of right wing backs out there that you can really spend the big bucks on, that is going to get you exactly what you want. It's kind of a bit of a riskier sort of market. Apparently Hakimi, is kind of unsettled at PSG. I think if Levy were clever, I think he would realize that he would probably be worth any price in the world. But if I were to throw any sort of money at something, I'd throw all the money at right wing back. I think is probably as well, as much as we love Bentancur, as much as we love Højbjerg, I think we need a different type of midfielder in there too, Amir, if you ask me. I know people are asking for that creative midfielder, but for me, it's some sort of we need a world class, I think, midfielder still in there. And I would say even as well, maybe spend the big bucks, maybe on a center mid, too. I would understand that logic, because with Højbjerg, as much as I love Højbjerg, I think he's going to be more of a squad player, if we're going to be honest, if we really want to win titles. And that's kind of my logic on it. And then maybe need that left-sided center back, probably need a right-sided center back, or at least one that can fill in for Dyer, because when you think about it too, Davinson Sanchez, Joe Rodon, are they really actually good enough, as backup? So maybe you need 2 center backs. So what did I just say? That's 4 signings. Throw in another forward, 5 signings, Amir, at least 5 signings at least, my man.
So five in, and then maybe a couple out that you think we can offload as well.
Yeah, the tough thing though is, maybe last question here, Amir, maybe for you, I have to flip it back to you. I do appreciate being asked the question, so it makes my life a bit nicer. With Doherty, him getting this injury at 30 years old, what does that mean for him, do you think? Are they going to keep the faith that he'll come back next season, or do you think they'll think about shifting him on? Because he's only just had a good spell, and it's only been 6 games. It's not like it's been a whole season or anything. Do you think with 30 years old, this injury, do you think they'll just move him on, or do you think they'll keep the faith?
Oh, to be honest with you, I don't know how much you know about the Irish there, and how much Dave's been rubbing off on you, but they're a hardy, steely bunch. You know what I mean? And I think
he'll be back in a day.
He'll be back, and he'll be raring to go. And honestly, he'll want to start from where he stopped. He was really reigniting his career at Spurs, playing fantastically, showing the fans really why we signed him as well. So I think he's still got a few more seasons in him at Spurs, to be honest with you.
Interesting. Well, Amir, maybe, I feel like I cut you off on a really good question, but last, maybe kind of point, give me your thoughts on what maybe I had to say about maybe 5 signings. You were talking about what's needed to get that title next season, because William Kelly has said exactly, Amir, we will be going for that title next season. So I know you were gracious enough to ask me the question, Amir, what do you think we need to get that title next season? What sort of signings, what sort of support does Conte need?
So, I'd agree that it's roughly around the 5 signings mark. I'm really debating in my mind if we need Emerson back or not, and would that be a smart move to go and bring him back and have him there for the cup games and for the squad and for the team morale and for the reception that he'll get by the Spurs fans. And also he's a set piece specialist, and Lord knows we need someone who can take set pieces and corners and whatnot. So I would debate whether we get him back or not. With regards to a defender, I really love Pau Torres, and if Villarreal don't make Europe, then maybe he could be an option to go and get. I like Ward-Prowse as well in the midfield. I think he's quality. I don't know if he's world class, but he's definitely got a lot of potential.
Could add something to this team. Yeah,
could add something to the team for sure. With regards to striking options, Tammy Abraham's been banging them in for Roma, and he's had a really great season over there in Italy. And I don't know if he'd want to play second fiddle to Harry Kane and sit on the bench, but if he would be up for that, then I think he's someone we should maybe be looking into.
Yeah.
And yeah, with regards to the wing back, obviously Hakimi would be great to get in, especially if he's unsettled there at PSG. It's really up to Paratici and Conte. I would say, I can say I want this guy, I want that guy. At the end of the day, it's Conte. He needs to decide.
I would listen to Conte too, but I would also listen to you, Amir. I wouldn't, put yourself down, too much. I'd listen to what you have to say. I would put you on that phone call, my man. I'd put you on that phone call.
You're too kind. You're too kind there, Jack. But no, honestly, whatever Conte's wish list is, whatever his Christmas list is, just listen to the man, Levy. Honestly, like Levy just needs to leave his ego aside. He let it get to him with Mourinho and sacked him before the final. If he wants to be around at our club much longer, he needs to. This is his last chance, isn't it? Like really, you saw what the fan base was like after Nuno and after the United. So
he's already reached, his last chance, if not past it, with a lot of people. Amir. I think what it really is this is maybe his last chance to keep any sort of reputation or any sort of faith from the everyday sort of fan. That kind of like, I think, the everyday fan is starting to really question Levy, starting to really question, what the club is doing behind the scenes. And, once that starts happening, I think, that's the end of it for the owner, and I think it's Levy's last chance, to convince maybe the sort of in-betweeners, the Levy in-betweeners, kind of to, figure it out. I think, which side they're really on. So it's a crucial summer for him. If history shows, he's going to probably disappoint, but maybe this time with Antonio Conte, with Paratici in the door, they'll maybe change things. But yes, Amir, I actually have, put it in the chat. I'm going to do it one more time. But tell us about the Open Peace podcast, my man. I did put it in the chat when you first came on as well. Tell us about it, my man.
All right, thanks so much, Jack. Yeah, I must have missed that off on my Spurs rant.
Oh, you were mid flow, my man. You were mid flow. I didn't want to interrupt you.
I see. Well, just, the Open Peace podcast is all about promoting peace, talking about different solutions out here in the Middle East and not just, but all over. Unfortunately, I'm sure everyone's well aware of the disaster and the absolute carnage that's going on at the moment in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. There's also wars raging in Ethiopia, in Yemen, in other places in Africa too. And it really is sad. We're at a point of humanity where we really should be pushing past all this tribal wars and wars over resources and land borders and religions and whatever else. So, it would be really, really great if the Harris Army could get behind the Open Peace podcast, subscribe and help out and just try and push for a more peaceful, harmonious world, and one where Spurs are winning the league next season, and we can all meet up on a nice bus parade tour down Tottenham High Street. That would be the dream.
Absolutely. Everybody, do head on over to this podcast. The link was in the beginning. The link is now here yet again. No excuses now. Do show Amir the support. He has class thoughts and opinions on Spurs. So I'm pretty sure you can tell by now he's a very smart guy. So I'd imagine when it comes to things that are a bit more, kind of complicated than, maybe Spurs, a bit more complicated than, figuring out Levy and Conte and whatnot. I'm pretty sure he has some very good opinions there. And I'm pretty sure you would like to listen to him too. I love to see what he has to say over here. So I would be quite confident he has some good things to say elsewhere. Seems like a very smart guy. So it would also show him the support that he does deserve. But Amir,
You're too kind, Jack. You're too
Thank you for
kind.
popping on, especially when I kind of maybe asked you to as well when I saw you in the chat. Really do appreciate you popping on, taking the time out of your evening. Thank you for your patience. And always, my man, really pleasure to speak with you. Love talking to you,
Yeah.
my man.
Thank you so much, Jack. Thank you so much. And fantastic hosting tonight, honestly, mate. Brilliant.
Appreciate it,
Brilliant.
brother.
Top
Appreciate it,
man.
brother.
Take it easy.
Alrighty,
Bye
come
now.
on, you Spurs, Amir.
Come on, Tottenham. Come on.
Come on, come on. Big up Amir. Everybody, do hit that link. Do show him the support right there that Amir deserves. He's been very, very kind to me from the moment that I think I've been on this channel as well as on the second channel. He's been very kind to me. So I would say show him that bit of kindness as well. But big up, Amir. Really do appreciate it, brother, for you popping on. William Kelly saying right wing back, left-sided center back, midfielder, and a striker. Title in the bag. Let's go home. How many signings is that, William Kelly? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 signings, and the title is in the bag. I'd like to think 5. I'd like to think 5 signings and the title's in the bag, William Kelly. But I completely agree. Let me know, William Kelly, which one you spend the big bucks on, though, my man. Which one of those signings would you spend the big bucks on for Conte? I think is always a good question as well. But really do appreciate support, William. And like I said, man, we were in a really good conversation. So I am really sad that that didn't work out. But let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on, everybody. I think we have the Kaufman on next. Looking forward to this one. Ben, how we doing, my man?
Doing all right. I think something happened at weekend, didn't it? I'm not quite
Few things
certain.
happened. Few things happened.
A few things happened. Arsenal get battered everywhere they go. West Ham get battered everywhere they go. And we're on the way. We're doing well. So hopefully everyone is happy at the moment. It's brilliant. It's to see, isn't it?
everything's going according to plan, like an evil genius sort of situation. Excellent, right? Exactly, Ben. But I don't know, where do you want to start things? Because we could talk about Arsenal, we could talk about the rivals for top 4, we could talk about this Villa game. Where do you want to start things off, Ben?
I do want to clarify my point that I put in the super chat earlier about referees and the refs really need to start protecting players. I mean, we saw at the weekend bad tackles going in, and it ruined the game for the most part. The reason we were so shaky in that first half is we were just taken out. Every time we got any sort of movement on the ball, a 2-footed tackle would come in from a Villa player, stopping all our momentum.
Mm-hmm.
We saw from Højbjerg's Instagram post that the cuts and the bruises he had. You can only see the two tackles that really summed it up. The one on Doherty, which has ruined his career possibly. I don't think Doherty will ever be the same again, getting this type of injury.
30 years old as well, right, Ben? It's not like people are kind of tossing it to the side saying he'll be fine. It's like
no,
he's 30 years old. Like he's at the end of his career already.
It might possibly be the end of his career. So, and with the Ashley Young on Harry Kane, those are 2 tackles where the rules, again, endangering the safety of an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
If Doherty never plays football again, Matty Cash shouldn't, because he has gone in to hurt him. He's gone in to hurt him. He's not tried to win the ball. He's gone in to hurt him. And that's what he's done. So I think a lot of questions need to be asked of Steven Gerrard of why he's asking his players to hurt other I can see first tackle, going for a tackle, put a reducer in on someone. Absolutely fine with that. It happens in football. But to endanger multiple players' safeties in that game, it's not right. And there really needs to be an inquest into it. And the ref should have booked the first one. He should have booked the second one. And 15 bad tackles later, he still hasn't booked a player. But Højbjerg puts his hand on one Villa player, immediately gets a booking.
Yeah, I know. That was like that. That was the shocking part. And Ben, I said this as a joke earlier, but let's be honest. Is it even a joke? I said, it felt like the referee forgot his cards at home, but it felt like he also forgot his cuffs, at home. Do you feel like that really did feel that way? That sort of game where the referee, like, not only wasn't giving them cards, but he also wasn't even calming things down. Wasn't, asserting, any sort of, dominance on the game. He wasn't saying to the players, this isn't acceptable.
It didn't even give a talking to. He just let them fly into tackles left, right, and centre. I mean, this wasn't even a derby, and they were flying in.
No.
You can probably see if it was both sides flying into tackles and it's a derby, you think, okay, well, what, I can't give yellow cards to every single tackle, but it was only one team that was flying into tackles, and you stop that. A yellow card's right, another tackle, I'm going to book you as well. And it's just like, it's shocking refereeing. He stopped Tottenham from playing for the most part, because every time we did start, bad foul. I mean, that was Villa's game plan from the get-go, and I'm so proud to say that Tottenham weathered the storm. How many times in the past have Tottenham gone up against a side like that, whether it's a West Brom or a Burnley or a Bolton with someone like Kevin Davis up front, and we've bottled it because we lack the physical game. But it's firstly, it needs to be given to Conte that he's calmed them down at half-time and said, all right, we're going to go. They're gonna play like this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bypass them. We're gonna put the ball over the top, and then we're gonna batter them 4-0. So a massive big up to the boss for that. Absolutely spot on tactical change, and the team should be proud of themselves for that. We've been saying that they're spineless for a long time this season. A lot of the performances, they've been absolutely shocking. They weren't spineless on Saturday. They were brilliant, and we need to give them a massive round of applause for that.
Yeah, everybody's agreeing with your sentiment on the referee, Ben, and I think you've absolutely nailed it on the head here. I figured I'd ask you the same question I'd asked, maybe some people before, because I know everything's, hinged on what we do, but you can't, sometimes you do want to look, to the side, Ben, you do want to see how the other people are doing. And in the case of Arsenal, do you think they'll drop points again to Southampton, or do you think they'll kind of figure it out this time and snap themselves together? Because I think the big shock was, after that Crystal Palace result, we kind of figured they would, get themselves together and in order to get a nice result against Brighton, but they didn't. Do you see them, pulling themselves together for Southampton?
Well, there's two teams that have got to bounce back from bad performances. Southampton against Chelsea. And Southampton always have one bad performance in the season where they get battered 6s or 9s, and then they bounce back the next game. Always happens with Southampton. But with Arsenal, if they're playing Xhaka or Martinelli at left back, they're not going to win a single game for the rest of the season. They're playing their best forward at left back, and they're completely removing the middle of their team because they've got no Thomas Partey. So they put Xhaka at left back. But at the end of the day, we've got to focus on us. It's in our hands now. We need to stop doing stupid things, and we just got to take it game by game, moment by moment, half by half, and we've got to focus on ourselves. It's in our hands. But as my compere, Mr. Iggy, says, it is very possible that top 4 could be done by the North London derby, which would be absolutely fantastic for the scoundrels of the media to deliberately put the Arsenal game during the middle of my holiday so they can drag out the top 4 race. Absolute nasty bastards.
Well, they wanted to put it during this clinical point where, it all builds up to it, the ratings, the TV revenue, it's all at its climax, Ben. How sweet would it be? How sweet would it be that Arsenal, they not only ran away the first time, but then the second time when they've been waiting and, scheduling it according to how Arsenal want it, when they want it, if it were already over practically by that standpoint, that would be, it'd be delicious.
It'd be glorious. And I don't think there are two. Southampton will be a difficult game after being a wounded animal. Arsenal will also be a wounded animal. But they've got missing half their team now. They've got no Kieran Tierney, who was one of their driving forces going forward on the left wing. And they haven't got their midfield, their person that links their midfield with the defence in Thomas Partey. So if they allow a Southampton team, which is very good at pressing, to press them, I think they'll fall away. And there's the usual thing. I don't think Arsenal, I don't know if it's at home or away, but I think it's at Chelsea now. Their game in hand.
Yeah, it's Chelsea away.
I don't see them beating Chelsea. A lot of people were saying that the Chelsea are looking like I don't think Chelsea are crumbling. They had a bad performance against Brentford,
they're still the third best team in the Premier League in my eyes. I think they're still the third best team.
Many teams don't beat Real Madrid in the Champions League, especially when Benzema puts in an absolute 15 out of 10 performance. You're going to struggle against that man. if he's playing like that. So I think it is a blip for Chelsea. And I think Chelsea will have them. I think Chelsea are a better team. They're better defensively. They've got a better midfield. They've got basically their entire team except for Lukaku. But he'll probably be fit by that time. And Lukaku usually has great games against Arsenal.
Yeah.
So I see them losing 2 more games. I see them drawing against Man United because Ronaldo always plays well against Arsenal, just like he always plays well against us.
Mm-hmm.
I see Arsenal still dropping at least 6 points at the end. I see them dropping at least 6 points, whether they lose 2 games or whether they draw a load of games. But
I agree, Ben. And what I said is if Spurs were to get 6 out of 9 points and Arsenal were to drop 6 out of 9 points in the next 3 games, that could sort of seal the title in itself. When you kind of think about it, that's enough distance, for one team to really see themselves as ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to see that we're not messing up. And that's the main thing is we're not making stupid mistakes. Yeah, we had a bit of a clanger with Ugo giving a stupid ball, but the game was done anyway if he's making a clanger like that. The game was done. We were 4-0 up. And I don't see him making that mistake when we're 1-0 up, for example, in a crunch game. It was just the game was done. They were on the beach by the time. And I see us the Liverpool game. We might get a draw because Liverpool are playing well. But if Liverpool play a high line against us, we've been absolutely flourishing against high lines. So we might be able to get a lucky 3 points at Liverpool. You never know. We did very well against them when they played a high line at the lane. So there's no reason why we can't give them a game there as well. So you never know. You never know at the end of the day. But we've got to focus on us.
Got to focus on us. I completely agree, Ben. But then by focusing on us, I mean, what are your thoughts, maybe about the Doherty situation? Does this hurt, your chances of top 4? Does this, make you a bit more worried? Or do you feel like Emerson can do a job for the next 7 Premier League games?
As much as I'm a critic of Emerson, it's time to put the critique aside and we've got to support the boys.
Yes.
All we've got for the rest of the season is Emerson. What's the point of giving him shit every week? Is the only thing we got, unless we're going to put Pat Scotsy in, which would be damaging for that young man's career if he makes a mistake. So we got to put all our support on Emerson for the rest of the year, whether we like him or not. He's going to be right wing back for the rest of the season, and unless we play Sessegnon at right wing back, which Sessegnon can barely play 1 game, 2 games in a row. So Emerson's going to be playing a few more games. So we really need to get behind the team. And as Paul Coyte says, up the Spurs. We've got to get behind them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To bottom Duda in here with a big super chat saying reports in Italy say the new financial fair play rule will further damage the Serie A. As disheartening as it is, Paratici can get more players from Serie A. I am certain 90% of our players will come from the Serie A. To bottom Duda, this has kind of been on my head as well. Like Paratici, it's the market that he knows best, and it's also probably right now the second best league anyways, in Europe. It seems like it might be the best place for him to make the shopping. A lot of places, kind of make rumors, or a lot of medias make rumors that we're going after players from Bundesliga, Eredivisie, etc. And it just seems like maybe that could be true, but Paratici with Conte and everything, it does sort of make sense that the majority of our transfers would come from the Serie A, as well as on top of this information that the Serie A is going to be further hit by more kind of financial, damages. It seems like it's only a better time to sort of kind of make a Serie A raid. But what are your thoughts, Ben? I mean, maybe a 2-part question here from the bottom Duda. I guess the first question is, are most of our transfers going to be Serie A players? And then the second part is, do you think that is kind of the best way to go about it?
Get a few more Juventus rejects.
Yeah.
All the Juventus rejects, come on down. Get them all in. I love the Juventus rejects. I think they're pretty decent players, I think, the old rejects. So, yeah, if we can get a De Vrij, brilliant. If we can get a... I mean, I don't know. Haven't looked at the balance sheets because that is the main crunch. Who needs to sell players? Do Inter need to sell players? If they desperately need to sell players, put a cheeky bid in for Lautaro Martinez. That is another player we could go for.
No.
There is a few players I would have from Serie A, and they would improve our team. I'm not a. It's not a secret how much of a fan I am of Spinazzola of Roma. He would
You
solve
like
our
that guy?
left back crisis. He would be a storm if we could put 50 million for Spinazzola, or Zaniolo would be brilliant in midfield if we need someone that can.
True.
There are so many brilliant Serie A players that could come into this team and be absolutely sensational. So but they're all just rejects at the end of the day, apparently. So we shouldn't have them, should we?
Take Roma rejects, Napoli rejects,
Roma rejects,
Inter
Napoli
rejects. Take them
all
all.
the
We'll take them all
rejects,
to bottom,
Tim.
dude. We'll take them all. But
Take them
yeah,
all.
I expect majority of our transfers will come from the Serie A, which is why I kind of don't really believe a lot of the rumors, more or less, that, you know, they're the players that are linked with us that are not in the Serie A. I do kind of maybe take them with a grain of salt, but it's not the ones that I believe wholeheartedly, because it does seem to make more sense that, you know, Paratici would go after the league that he knows best to bottom Duda. I completely agree and really do appreciate the support. But he also says as well, top 4 races between Ronaldo and Conte. They know what it takes to win. The top 4 races between Spurs and United. Arsenal aren't even in the race, says to bottom Duda. Big statements there. I love it, actually, because that's exactly what I want to hear, but I find that hard to believe. Ben, can you make a case that Arsenal aren't even in the race anymore?
At the end of the day, I don't give a shit what the Woolwich do. I mean, we got to focus on ourselves. United are done, I think. They are a bunch of mercenaries. United are done for the next 6 years, in my opinion. With the team they've got, not a single player cares for that football team. They don't care for that fan base, which is a massive shame. So I think Arsenal and Man United are just as poor as each other. And hopefully they take points off of each other, because it'll make my life a whole lot easier and it'll give me a whole lot of stress, and it'll just give me something to laugh at as well. As my brother, Mr. Amir, said, I don't mind if the Woolwich Wasters beat the manky Manchester United. I don't care.
None of my business.
They're awful. Both of them are awful. I feel sorry for Man United fans for the most part, because they've been run poorly by their football club, and we understand that. But it's brilliant to see Man United be shit, because they were the high school bully, and now they're moping on the corner because they can't even play football properly. So it's brilliant.
I actually
don't care about either team. Both of them can go to hell, in my opinion.
Completely agree. That's actually the part that I find kind of funny about Man United scenario is all of a sudden, you know, they're coming to the realization that, you know, their football club is, you know, being run poorly, but every single year you hear how great they are, you know, how well things are being run there. And all of a sudden they come to this realization where Spurs fans have been, you know, seemingly well aware, you know, that there are clear problems at the club and they know exactly who the problems are. Seems like Man United, it's every year it's been Fred, it's been Louis van Gaal, it's been, you know, David Moyes, it's been Jose, it's been Wan-Bissaka, it's been Ole. It's a new excuse every single year, and they've yet to point the finger, it feels like, at the ownership. And maybe they're finally doing that to bottom Duda. But I would say, to make that case that Arsenal is not even in the race anymore, as much as I want to love that and agree to that, I think they've still got plenty of a chance. And I think I expect them actually to redeem themselves this weekend, because if they don't, then that's just pure collapse. That's just pure collapse. If they don't get a result against Southampton, that's just the biggest collapses of collapses. So that's one of my thoughts on it. But big up to bottom.
Get your Ouija boards out. I want to see them collapse against Southampton. It'll be brilliant. I'll play the laughing policeman all weekend. It'll be brilliant.
Absolutely. Big up to bottom Duda, though. Really do appreciate the support as well. But Ben, 2 more questions for you, maybe for this evening. What are your thoughts maybe on the rest of these games? Do you feel like, you know, Spurs, they're going to just keep riding it out? Because I feel like maybe these first halves, they've been a bit uncomfortable. You know, do you think we'll just keep riding it out, keep getting these 3-0s, these 4-0s? Or do you see maybe Brighton this weekend maybe being a bit tougher than we expect?
Brighton are a decent team. They can give us a lot of problems. Their fullbacks are very, very good in Lamptey and Cucurella, I think is how you pronounce it, if he's playing wing back this weekend. They've got some good players. Brighton are we're one of Brighton's bogey teams. No matter how well Brighton are playing, they usually come unstuck against us, which is brilliant to see, really. But we've got to focus on us. We've got to put our right foot forward, and we've got to show that we're the better team, because we are a better team. I mean, we've beaten them 3 times this year or something. We've beaten them actually no, twice this year. We've beaten them twice already this year in the cup and in the league. We need to put our foot forward, and we just need to put 3 past them. We are a better team than them, and we've got to strut our stuffs. I think Bentancur and Højbjerg are going to have a lot more time on the ball, because I don't think Brighton are that high of a pressing team. They pressed Arsenal because they didn't have a midfield. But I think if we control the game, I think we're going to win.
Love it. Good answer. Second question here. Harry Kane seems like, he's given up the goals for assists, but then Sonny is going to be the one in contention then for that top, for that golden boot. Do you think Sonny is going to catch up then to Salah for that golden boot?
Yeah. Sonny's on fire. He's hit that purple patch. Harry Kane is currently the best player in the world, in my opinion. You can say that I'm deluded. I probably am deluded. But for me, the things Harry Kane is doing is nothing short of, it's almost Messi and Ronaldo standards. He's controlling an entire game on his own a lot of the time. The passes, the assist for Sonny with his head, it's just that it's natural. Everything he's touching at the moment is going to gold. And as long as he stays fit, he's now hit his top form. He's at the peak of his fitness, as well as Sonny. We're just going to put teams away. Sonny is finally playing in the position I wanted him to play, that left inside forward. So he's 29 years old. He can't be running up and down the wing all game. It's not possible for someone of his particular age. So Sonny is doing what Sonny does best, getting the ball, sticking it in the back of the net. So if those two keep on doing what they're doing, I think we'll be fine this year.
Love it. Absolutely. Love it, Ben. Well, Ben, loving your answers, my man. About to search up your channel so we can give you a bit of a plug. What can people find on over at the Coffee channel?
So the Coffee Company from Monday to Thursday is a wellness chill coffee channel where you can go and get away from the rigors and the stress of the world. Come in, talk about other people's cultures, talk about coffee, all of the above. But recently, from last Friday, we started a Friday football channel, Double F from Double F of Kaufman, and we talk about the weekend's things. Last week, we had the absolute pleasure of having Mr. Bob Spur on the channel, and it was a brilliant stream with Mr. Graham and Miss Kim. So come by on Friday where we talk about football, and hopefully some special guests come this week as well.
What's that called again?
What was that?
Is that on the Coffee channel as well?
Yeah, on Friday. So Football Fridays, where we talk about the Friday game, the weekend games. And hopefully this Saturday, I've been corralled into it. We are going to have a very special Saturday morning pre-match Tottenham community thing, because a load of the guys from the Tottenham community are coming to my shop Saturday morning. So we're probably going to stream that with the likes of Miss Ellie, who said she's going to come, and a few of the Tottenham boys and girls from the community. So it should be a really fun pre-match Saturday stream. So be there and see what happens at the Coffee Company. Hopefully it should be a blast.
Yeah, really, absolutely. And everybody do show Ben the support as well that he deserves over on that channel, everybody. The link is down here in the chat, and really do everybody show Ben the support that he deserves, because he's also a Spurs fan at the end of the day as well. So might as well just give him this up just for that reason. But Ben, as always, real pleasure. Really appreciate you coming on, giving me a bit of company, tonight as well. Being my friend, for these 15 minutes. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And as always, if you smell what the cough is brewing,
smell it. Oh, wow. And he sends off with that as well. Absolutely baller. But I think we're just going to keep moving on. We're going to keep plowing on, because we do have the Godfather to speak to, and he's coming on very late as well. So I will say very, very happy that he's coming on. But Philip, how we doing?
Hi, Jack. How are you? Good.
Doing good. I tried to text you earlier when I saw that you popped in. I wanted you to maybe if you wanted, you could have helped with the hosting duties, but I think you're the second to last
No,
one.
I tell you, the reason I'm so late, we go swimming on a Monday night, and it was a late session tonight, so
nice.
I only got home there about 10:30, so that was it. So
well, it seems like nice swim, while you're underwater, just thinking about the results of this weekend. Where do you want to start? The Saturday result, the Arsenal result, Man United result. What are we talking about?
Well, funny enough, when I was underwater tonight, the word Arsenal kept coming into my head, It must have been sort of simulation there underwater. I was underwater then. No, I think a couple of things. I'll get it off my chest first. It's probably been discussed already, but I want to express my absolute disgust at Graham Scott's officiating the game on Saturday against Villa. He is not fit to referee Premiership matches. He has no level of control. Now, I also have a bone to pick with Steven Gerrard, because in Arsenal's or in Villa's last couple of games against Wolves and Arsenal, they barely made a tackle.
Flat.
They literally did not make a tackle. Yeah, within a couple of minutes of the Spurs game, they're flying into tackles. Scott let them away with it, and they said, "Hang on, this ref's not going to pull us up. We'll do what we like." Hence the injury to Matt Doherty, for which Target or Cash did not even get a booking. You know, so I just feel that guy should be stood down for the next couple of games. It's happened before with referees. If the FA refereeing panel has anything about them now, they will call him in and say, "Listen, you are too lenient." And I'd say the same if Spurs dished it out and getting it. It's just not fair to put a player's livelihood at risk by allowing him to be kicked literally off the pitch by a team that knows they're going to get away with it because the ref is not going to pull them up on it. It just was not good. It took the gloss off the win, really. You know, it really did. Because Matt Doherty has been playing very well. I mean, I never thought we'd be saying that 3 months ago. His injury would barely have raised a ripple, and now it's been looked at as potentially a danger to us finishing in the top four. You know. And I wish him well, and I hope that he gets better quickly, because we need him for Ireland as well, you know.
It wasn't one of those games, though, Philip, where the referee, let things slide on both sides. He gave Højbjerg, a yellow card, for barely, touching a guy's, kit, and he also gave, I believe, as well, another player. I think he gave Kane a yellow card. I think Kane's was probably more justified, because Kane was just, basically giving them, right back what they deserved. But what are your thoughts on that? The fact that the referee as well, it didn't seem like it was going both ways.
Well, I think he booked Spurs players for, okay, if you put it in perspective, what he booked the Spurs players for, the Villa players should have got red cards. If you get my drift.
Yeah.
From the seriousness of the fouls. The Spurs foul, Højbjerg's foul and Kane's foul were low level compared to what the Villa boys were dishing out to us.
Yeah.
And I heard someone say tonight that on the Villa chat where they're saying Spurs were dirty. We weren't dirty. You know, I'll tell you though, one thing that Villa will need to pick up on, they pressed us so hard and used up. They were spent force at half time. They had nothing left.
Yeah.
And that's why we picked them off so easily in the second half. You know, but it's worrying a little bit that, let's face it, a better team than Villa probably would have scored more than one goal against us on Saturday. Even allowing for Hugo Lloris's fantastic form, you know, and it's a bit of a worry. Like, I hope that I'm going over to the Brighton game on Saturday now, and I hope we don't sit back and let Brighton come at us first half. I don't think we will. I think Brighton are in for a rough afternoon, to be honest with you, because I think we're going to go at them from the start here, and they won't. They're not a good enough team to go away to Spurs and come at us. They went to Arsenal on Saturday because they know Arsenal aren't a good team. They went at them and they got their just reward. But they won't try it against Spurs because we have a midfield.
You don't see them doing that twice. You don't see them going to another London team, and pulling up a similar sort of performance. Or even was that performance good enough to beat a Spurs?
The doubt is going to be in Potter's mind. He knows what Spurs can do. He knows the amount of goals Spurs have scored in the last few games. And he knows if they go too gung-ho against us at the start, he's going to be the next victim. So I expect Brighton to be very cagey. Okay, they may come out as the game goes on if we're not actually firing on all cylinders. But I expect them to have 11 men behind the ball or 10 men behind the ball for the first 20 minutes anyway, then to see how it goes. But I would be very surprised now if Brighton come out of Saturday with the same expression on their faces they had last Saturday. I'd say they might be glad to get off the pitch next Saturday. Just like Newcastle and Villa were.
Absolutely. And Philip, I figured you could help me with this super chat here from William Kelly. He's saying, I do not feel sorry for Man United fans one bit. In the 90s at school, because I was a Spurs fan, I had to put up with so much. I assume what he's saying here, and saying, so long may it continue. This is kind of, I feel the same way as William Kelly, actually, Philip, seeing Man United fans, kind of just be down in the dumps, practically saying like, oh, I can't even talk about Man United. Like, don't even get me started. These sort of kind of sentiments. It's like, all of a sudden, they find themselves in a similar position that maybe clubs like Spurs have been in for some time.
Yeah. I mean, it's how the mighty have fallen, really. I mean, yeah, we've all gone through that. I've got friends with Man United fans, and they've been lording it over us for years. And they've gone very, very quiet all of a sudden recently. Very hard to get comments out of them, because I think they realize that they have got a team of 11 mercenaries in their team. They have no one in that squad that would die for the badge. Not like we have guys in our team that would die for the badge.
Yeah.
And, you can blame the manager. I now see the warning signs are out for Ten Hag not to take the job because it'll ruin his reputation. I think
I've been seeing that too.
Right. That's absolutely dead on. He would be mad to take that job,
Yeah.
And anyone that's got any, and Pochettino will be mad to take it as well. I think anybody that's got any hope for the future will stay away from the Manchester United job. It's a poison chalice and has been since Alex Ferguson left. When you look at it, they've had so many managers and none of them have really done much. Okay, they won the odd trophy here and there, but it seems that the dressing room is always bigger than the manager. The egos in the dressing room, summed up by Ronaldo's disgraceful actions on Saturday, leaving the pitch at Everton.
Yeah,
what he did there was completely uncalled for. But it just sums up he wasn't annoyed that United had lost. I think he was more annoyed that he had a limp and he was having to, maybe a cut on his leg or something. That's what was bothering him more than the fact he'd lost the match. And I would tell you one thing: if Cristiano Ronaldo was offered to us as a free transfer at £100 a week next week, I wouldn't take him.
I don't think I would either, to be honest.
He's poison chalice. He is just he's a cancer in the dressing room.
He's extra poison for the poison chalice, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So I have no sympathy for United. I'm absolutely delighted where they are at the moment. Long may it continue. And I don't think they're a threat for fourth place. I think Arsenal are a bigger threat still. Bad note as they are. And we'll see what happens. Kelly. Yeah, but it's a good point. I mean, we've all suffered from United fans' arrogance, and now they're paying the price.
There you are, William Kelly. They're the words I couldn't agree with anymore. But finally, they're kind of feeling what the rest of us have felt, and all of a sudden, they like Philip has just said, they've gotten a bit quieter. They're starting to try to sympathize with the rest of us, and to be honest, I just don't have the time for them, like you, William Kelly. But really do appreciate it, and really, really generous as well. The bottom dude saying, question for the panel: considering Conte likes both of them, who would you pick out of Bastoni and De Vrij? I'm not sure if you know about maybe either or, but they both play for Inter Milan. The Philip, one of them is that young left-footed Italian center back. That's kind of a big one for the future. And then the other is kind of that older 28, 29, that Dutch center back that I believe plays as kind of a middle of the back three sort of kind of guy. So in my eyes, I would actually take both of them, to be fair. But do you know about any one of these? Maybe.
Oh yeah, I would like. If I've been a fan of De Vrij for a while, so I don't know much about Bastoni. I'm sure he's an excellent player, but I think if I was buying him, I would buy De Vrij.
Love it.
Experienced and been around the block a bit, knows where he's coming from, and De Vrij and Romero in that defense now, they shall not pass.
I think I would get De Vrij probably to help with maybe Dyer, to be fair, because I don't know, Philip, if you ask me, like next season, I think we still need like a Dyer sort of backup or a Dyer competition, because Sanchez not confident, and then Rodon just simply isn't favored by any manager that comes in. So it seems like we don't just need that left-sided center back. I think we need another center back. Do you agree? Yeah.
Well, I think Rodon will probably be sold this summer anyway. Dyer will be there. I mean, if we have a panel of centre backs to choose from, of Dyer, Romero, Sanchez, De Vrij, and maybe one or maybe go for the two of them. Like if rumours to believe by the FFP going to hit Italy further, we may be able to pick up bargains from Italy this summer. And I do agree. I think most of our signings are going to come from the Italian league. Because Paratici is so well versed in it and knows where the bargains are. So it'd be great now if we could get them. Like I read somewhere tonight too, the Spurs could actually make a fortune selling on Lo Celso. I heard
Yeah.
a figure of 60
They
million
like him
mentioned,
over there.
which would be bite their hand off, really.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine what we can do with 60 million for a player that's not even going to get in the squad if he came back.
That would be like Villarreal spending all their Champions League money, on Lo Celso, which I would say, maybe similar to the Dele Alli situation, won't, tell them not to, but we'll be quite surprised if it does
Or just
happen.
get him out and get the money in. That's my thinking, because
My thoughts as
we can
well.
really do a lot of damage with 60 million.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we just undo a lot of damage that even that transfer did, as well as the Tanguy one as well. Certainly would help out. But to bottom Duda, I would probably take both. I would take De Vrij as a backup, maybe for Eric Dyer, and then I would take Bastoni as the future left-sided center back that would obviously play ahead of Ben Davies, but would probably be one of the best left-sided center backs in the world, actually, to be fair, in Conte's system. So would take him. I think I'd probably take him over any other left-sided center back. Maybe if we could choose among any of them in the world, to be honest, to bottom Duda. So I would take both, my man. That's my answer. Do really appreciate support. But Philip, more to talk about. Plenty more to talk about. In terms of, maybe Spurs, showing up to, playing against Brighton this weekend. You're going to be at the game. Are you full of confidence, they'll be able to show up like they did against Villa? Or do you think maybe they might get a bit ahead of themselves and, might, succumb to a bit of the pressure?
No, I don't. I think now we've really got a head of steam going now. We're scoring goals for fun. We look
So
the
not
real
another Wolves performance you expect?
No, well, definitely no, definitely not. Like, I was over at the Norwich game in December as well, and that was a funny game. They let Norwich come at them for a lot of the time, and we beat them 3-0. But the crowd was getting on edge at one stage, because let's face it, the Spurs crowd does not like visiting teams coming and dictating play. It's just not part of the hymn sheet. And Brighton or Norwich did that for a while. Okay, in the end, we beat them comfortably. But, like, again, they missed a couple of good chances which could have, significantly altered the result. So, yeah, I expect Spurs to come out on Saturday, and I expect them to come out all guns blazing, front foot, no tapping the ball around 20 times at the back in the first couple of minutes. I want them to get at Brighton straight away. Show intent. And I've got this feeling he's been missing from the goal sheets the last few games. I think Harry Kane this is the game where Harry Kane is going to start hitting the back of the net again.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
let's
hopefully
face
someone
it,
hands him a Coke bottle as well. What he
well,
did
let's
last
face
time.
it, he'll be back. He's back from Atlanta in the golf now, and he should be fully refreshed and ready, raring to go. And I'm expecting big things from Harry Kane. And let's face it, we've got the best front three. I'd even put the front three at the moment ahead of Liverpool's, and that's how good our front three is at the moment.
Yeah,
we've scored more goals than Liverpool, so I'm going based on that assumption. Since January, no one has scored more goals than Tottenham, and our front three is responsible for most of them. So I'm going to hope that front three is going to be too good for the Brighton defense, and that we have a comfortable win on Saturday. That being said, I'm not getting carried away. Top four is there for the taking. But there may be a slip with Liverpool away. That's going to be extremely difficult. And we've Leicester to play as well. Leicester can be tricky. But we've a better run-in than Arsenal, a much better run-in. So, if they keep the head, Conte will not let them get above themselves. He will make sure their feet are on the ground and know exactly where the aim is to finish top four. And one thing I would hope he does, like what he's done in the last two matches, he's tinkered at half time, and we've come out and blown away teams in the second half. Let's do it for 90 minutes the next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just don't let us have us sitting on our hands and biting our nails for the first 45 minutes, as we were against Newcastle and we were against Villa. So let's go out from the very get-go on Saturday and blow them away from the start, and let's increase our already increasing goal difference to a lot more than it is at the moment.
And just final question here, Philip. What are your thoughts maybe on, Sean's nickname? Because you were talking about that front three being so ruthless. What are your thoughts on Sean's nickname of Sonny being the smiling assassin?
Oh, yeah, that's true. He wasn't smiling there for a while. He was kind of a bit out of sorts there for a while. But he has come back. And I must say, I mean, I think the flick on with Harry Kane's head for Son's second goal on Saturday, for me, that is the assist of the season so far. That was radar-like. That was radar-like. The fact he looked, he saw where he was going, and he was able to put that header exactly where it should go. Classic. Absolutely brilliant. And Kulichevsky, I think he surprised us all just how good he is. I mean, his awareness to pick out Son for his hat-trick goal there was superb. He takes he's not scared to shoot. And then, if those two aren't firing like they have been, we've always got Mr. Kane to come along and add in a few as well, so
Always.
getting better.
And like you said, maybe he'll get those goals that have been a long time coming. Maybe he's been giving up the goals for assists, but maybe this time he'll take a bit more of a selfish.
Yeah, I think he said, come on, lads, this is my turn now to get a few. Time you started providing me. So, I'm looking forward to it,
Looking forward to it. And Philip, I wish you luck at the game. I hope you have a good time, especially get there nice and early. Hopefully you get to go to La Royale like we did, maybe. Hopefully there'll be a players.
I don't know, it's a 12:30 kickoff, and by the time we get it, our flight gets in about 9 o'clock. So we're not going to have a whole lot of time to get from Gatwick to the ground,
Yeah.
So I don't think so. It'll probably be straight to the match, and then we're flying straight home afterwards. So it'll be a bit of a rush job, I think, But hope to meet up with some of the guys, Ellie and Graham and them, at the ground.
Absolutely.
Saturday, And just before I go, I'd like to thank Ian for letting me jump ahead of him there, because very, very appreciative, because I have an early start in the morning. And also, David, get better soon, man. I rang him earlier today to see how he was. He didn't seem in the best of form.
No, he doesn't. But he makes miraculous recoveries, like I said, earlier, Philip, he seems to make miraculous recoveries. He'll sound like an absolute wreck one day, and then somehow he'll just sound completely like himself the next day. So that's what I'm hoping for. But
let's hope he's in good form by Saturday. That'll put him. The result will put him in even better form.
Exactly. That's what we need. But big up, Philip, and really do appreciate you coming on.
No, thanks for putting me on earlier. Earlier than I should have been.
No, I said, I could have. Maybe you could have been hosting with me, but that probably would have been a bit too much.
Oh no! Unfortunately, Monday night it's usually away. It's a crowd. There's a crowd of us go, and I normally drive, so I'm kind of
Nice. Well,
so there you go.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Well done, Jack. You're doing a great job there.
Appreciate it, my man. Appreciate it. I'll be catching you. See ya.
See ya. All the best.
Well, there's the Godfather. Just finished with the Godfather. Gave us everything that he has to know and everything that he has to say regarding Spurs. As always, I figured he said everything you expected him to say and agreed with everything he had to say as well. Faz Radfar saying, do you agree the only must-sell player is Winks? No, I don't think so. I think Joe Rodon is kind of a must-sell because we don't play him. We don't seem to really favor him. He's just last on the pecking order by the looks of it. I think Joe Rodon is a must sell. Probably you can make the case for Sanchez too as a must sell. I think you could make that case for Sanchez. In terms of the forward line, probably not much else up there. Yeah, I would say Winks, Sanchez, and Rodon. I would actually say must sells just because they're not good enough. They're simply not good enough as backups for what we want them to be. So I don't know why they're staying around. We also bought them for big money, as well. It's not like they're, they come through the academy or anything. We bought them for big money. So I just think we need to move them on. That would be my thoughts, Faz. But good question, my man. Very good question. We are going to move on to Ian, and I'm looking forward to this. Ian Ferguson, and I think he's also had a busy day today, but he's made the time for the fan show. Ian, how you doing, my man?
What is up, Jack? What is up? I actually woke up fairly early on Saturday to a profanity-laced text from my younger brother, who is a Man U fan, and just how they just screwed the pooch on Everton. I was just like, I just cannot believe this. Like, that being said, I was just laughing the entire time. But
it's a great weekend for us.
Like, just what a weekend. Like, the stars aligned, man. The stars aligned. What can I say?
Stars have aligned, and it was the demise of everyone else that I think made our whole weekend. But where do you want to start then, Ian? Do you want to start, maybe on, the demise of the other teams and maybe where their future is headed, or do you want to talk maybe about our performance?
Let's just get the bad news out of the way first. 3 months ago, hell, like even 6 months ago at the beginning of the season, like, if you had told me that we would be heartbroken over Matt Doherty going down and potentially having like a significant impact on our season, I would have been like, well, stranger things have happened. But at the same time, I would have been like, there's no way in hell. Like, but just from what it sounds like, it's just his MCL. So thankfully the turnaround time for him, obviously he's out for the rest of the year, but he should be back with plenty of time before the beginning of next year. So there's hope there. Hopefully he can get through that as fast as he's able to. But yeah, that does give us some pretty interesting questions as far as like, who do we plug in? I think Emerson is going to be the main person for now, unless.
Is he doable for you for the next 7 Premier League games? Can he do a job?
He'll have to. I mean, but I would say short answer, yeah. Like it's like I'm just, as you know, I'm just like one of those like folks. It's like we just cannot be like just too hard on this guy yet. I mean, he's also playing out of spot too. But to be fair, though, I mean, like I think how he plays for these next like 7 weeks is going to be really important in how he's treated as far as a first team or just a decent squad player for next year, or perhaps if he just really just screws the pooch, he's out, I think, which isn't exactly the most like fair thing in the world, but I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that happening as well. What are your thoughts maybe on, maybe Doherty and, the rest of his career, though, with the fact that he's 30 years old? Do you see Spurs maybe taking a chance on keeping him, or do you see them maybe trying to move him on, actually, considering, his age and everything? Like, is it just bad timing for him?
I would say, yeah, but also the fact.
I apologize. I guess, one part of it is that do Spurs, maybe do Spurs really keep, Doherty and around in case what he brings, or do they try to maybe look for a different solution? Or what are your thoughts on maybe what you might be, what his future at Spurs is like? Because he's 30 years old. Like, we have to be honest, like a serious injury like this could maybe hurt his chances of ever making a comeback at Spurs again.
Right. I would say, like, right now, and as someone who turns 35 towards the end of this year, I mean, I'm very sensitive to that whole thing for sure. But I would say, like, the way he's been like playing these like last like few like weeks, I think he has bought himself through at least the first half of next year, I would think, unless someone just decides to just like come in and just offer us an ungodly amount of cash relative to what he's worth. I think we sit on him for now and then just see what happens. Plus, also, this is going to be the first like summer window that Conte has. So, and I'm one of those like folks, I don't care if Conte wants to bring in a ham sandwich, you bring in the ham sandwich, right? So, and I think also too, though, like I think it makes our job, at least on the front end, a little bit easier, because we have seen, though, just despite his like almost like James Joyce level of depressive start of his Spurs career. I mean, this thing was just a tragedy. But the fact that he's been able to like actually turn it on, though, and the way he has, I think helps him a lot. So basically, to answer your question, I would hold on to him unless we get a really decent offer. So, but yeah, like I think this is going to be a really good time to see what Emerson can actually pull out. And honestly, I'm hoping he just completely just tears folks up. Hopefully, I mean, like that speed, there's hope there, I think. So who knows? Yeah,
there is hope there for sure. What are your thoughts maybe on the upcoming weekend? Maybe with Brighton, is this going to be another sort of pushover team, or maybe with that result they had, against the Scum, they could actually be quite a tough team? What are your thoughts? It's been easy for us this season against them, but what are your thoughts? Is it going to be easy? Is it going to be tough?
I would say the fact that it's at home, they have to come to with White Hart Lane, and that home crowd, I would assume, is just going to be going completely insane. So I would think there's no reason for us to not just punish them hard, but just like Phillips said, like, it'd be nice if they actually stepped on the gas in the first half and just stayed on it. Now, that being said, though, whatever Conte has told them at halftime the last few weeks, apparently he might have just threatened their entire families. Who knows? Just scared them shitless. Who knows? But whatever it is, it's worked. Now, I'm not saying that's what it should have to take every week.
Yeah.
But with Brighton, I feel like, it's like, and this really isn't any shade towards them, but it's Brighton. In theory, we shouldn't have any issues, but then again, though, we lost to Southampton, and there's just no excuse for that. And yet somehow we are still just in this whole thing. But just how they played against the wasted with Woolwich was just it's like I was feeling pretty easy.
Good. They looked good against
just
them. They looked like a better team.
Right. It's but I would say but I would say that probably that last 15, 20 minutes of that whole thing, I was like, oh God, the Scum are just going to pull this off. I mean, I hate these guys, but that Osgaard goal was just insane. I can at least, admit that, but yeah, it's I would say though, I just don't think that Brighton, just with everything they've gone through this year, I don't think they can do back-to-back just things. I don't think they can pull out back-to-back shifts like that 2 weeks in a row, especially not against us. Yeah. But yeah, I would say overall though, conservatively, I'm probably going to go with 2-3-1 us, I would say.
Yeah, another kind of, easy sort of result, against Harry Potter, especially, considering that it feels like it's been weirdly easy for us. Maybe a bogey team of the past. Don't want to read too much into it because they could be a bogey team for us this Saturday, but they have been, a tough team in the past, but this season has been a different story. We have made it quite easy.
Right. Yeah. It's and I would say just with how this season has just gone on, I mean, just whenever I'm feeling pretty good about things, that's when I'm like, wait a second, it's us. I'm very cautiously optimistic here, but also just that tiny voice in the back of my head, just saying just calm down, just take it 1 week at a time here.
Speaking then of keeping it 1 week at a time, what do you feel like is necessary, in order for us to really, keep the top four hopes, kind of true and strong? Do we need to win, I believe the next two games? I think it's Brighton and Brentford are the next two. Is that what you want to see happen? Because I feel like, in my eyes, Ian, I don't want to see us have to rely on getting points in the Liverpool fixture or even the North London derby. I don't want it to really come down to that. Do you feel the same way?
Sure. Yeah. In a perfect world, by the time we do play the Reds, hopefully,
so I guess there's a possibility of 9 points upcoming here. So we have Brighton at home, we have Brentford away, and then we have Leicester City at home. I think Brighton is probably the easiest.
Yeah,
Brentford, you could make the case it's
Brentford could be trapped. Yeah. I would say Brentford could probably be a trap here. Leicester, I mean, I'm always worried about them. Now, if a few of those reports are true, I guess we're targeting James Maddison in the offseason. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Or either him, or just James Ward-Prowse. I would love that. But yeah, I would say out of those three, Leicester is the one that concerns me the most. I think against Liverpool, I'm not saying we should have this mindset, but I would not at all be shocked if we drop points against them. Plus also it's at Anfield, right? So there's that. So hopefully by the time North London rolls around, hopefully points totals will not factor into it. And so in that case, we can kind of relax a little bit, but then just worry about just beating the crap out of them. I mean, honest to God, the fact what they did to us in the beginning part of the year, I was just gobsmacked. So here's hoping.
And, maybe then thinking about, the neighbors, in the case of Arsenal, what are your thoughts, with the fact that I've asked this question,
Mhm.
Brighton, I personally thought they were going to respond to that Crystal Palace result
Right.
and get a good performance there and get, probably make it quite comfortable. It wasn't a good performance and they didn't deserve anything from that game. And it was kind of a bit of a shock to me because I felt like they would respond to the Crystal Palace sort of performance. Do you feel like with Southampton, do you expect them maybe to respond and, be able to grab 3 points?
I would say if Arsenal doesn't obliterate Southampton, well, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. If Arsenal don't beat Southampton, something's wrong. Okay. Like, I wish them no success in the world, obviously. But if they can't get past Southampton, then I think there's like something else happening there. Because like even on paper, they should just walk all over them. So, but also if Arsenal like just happen to like drop points from a few folks where they shouldn't drop points, I'm not going to complain at all. So we can always hope for that. But I guess the good thing is, though, we are now in the driver's seat just going forward here. So anything that happens is on us. So hopefully we can just maintain this. Plus also, even if we are level on points going into North London, that point differential, that goal differential is going to be so crucial.
So crucial. You're right.
Hopefully it won't come to that, but if it does, I'm feeling pretty good. And yeah, I would say like the last like three weeks or so, the fact that Kane hasn't even put one in the back of the net, I'm not complaining. But it's like I'm not complaining about it, but like it would be nice if he could, just so we can just rub all of the salt into all of the wounds. So.
Absolutely. Final kind of tough question for you here, Ian. Let's maybe just break this down here. The next 3 games, or maybe all the games that lead up to the North London Derby, maybe we judge, which one is tougher, for each team between Arsenal and Spurs. But my first question before we get into that, do you think that's maybe worth even doing, actually? Do you think maybe every game is tough? It's not even worth comparing, because you need to still get 3 points and not every team is a pushover? Or do you feel like, there are tougher games and there are games that, you can't expect teams to get points in?
Right. And like I said, like right now where things stand, Liverpool is the hardest one that we have left. But like I said, though, there's going to be a trap one in there or two. I think for right now, Leicester is a trap game. Arsenal, Brentford could. I think if it was reversed and Brentford was coming to White Hart Lane, I think just with Christian Eriksen just being on fire right now, and yes, I'm very much one of those folks. If we can get him for next to like zilch in the summer, we definitely should. But yeah, like I would say, like, and also it's like I would say like Brentford. I mean, like geographically, pretty close. So I mean, like fans aren't going to have to travel that far anyway. But I would say right now the next few though, Leicester, Liverpool are going to be ones that I'm going to be like really worried about until I'm not. But with Arsenal, who knows, man? That's just going to be a fight, and I think Arsenal is going to come out like just pissed off the fact that they spent $50 million for Ben White and laugh out loud. That's all I'm saying. So just laugh out loud. And we have like the Argentinian assassin anchoring that back line of ours. I mean, like he's going to be out for blood. I mean, like they all are, but just, oh, man, I just cannot wait. It's going to be great.
I love this, Ian. I'm absolutely loving it. I can tell you're giddy, about, this weekend. Dark Sun G saying Brighton not the same after Byrne went to Newcastle. Maybe before I let you go here, Ian, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that is true? Do you think maybe Brighton have been hurt, maybe by, their departure of Byrne?
Yeah. Short answer, yes. I would say Brighton, like and like I said, I've only been like following EPL really intensely ever since the beginning of the 2019 season. But just what I know, it's like, yeah, like Brighton's one of those like squads, like
Yeah.
they have like some like folks who just catch fire, or just who are just absolute machines as far as they're concerned. They can't afford to like hold on to them long term, so they have to like sell them off. And with Newcastle being basically
who they want,
right? Yeah, it's like, and even before the Saudi royal family basically bought up Newcastle, just historically huge club. So, and it's like, and obviously every club wants to have that storied history at some point. And with Brighton, as far as I know, and of course I can be like completely wrong here, it's just not there yet. Yeah. But that being said, though, I think what Lamptey is their best, like
Lamptey, yeah, I could probably say that's probably the most valuable player maybe that they do have. You're probably right. It's like Lamptey, their wing backs.
Right. Yeah. It's like, and as far as Lamptey's concerned, you cannot convince me that if just like some other squad comes in and is like, hey, we will pay you 50, 60 million for him, they're not going to say yes. They're going to say yes. It's just, yeah. But I would say right now, just take it 1 week at a time here, and just things are looking, I'm feeling pretty confident we're going to finish top 4. And ultimately, if you're not first, you might as well be like second, third, or fourth. As long as we're playing, just under those European lights next year, I think that's going to help out a lot. And just with that financial windfall that comes with it, I think that's, and with basically Paratici just hoping just to come in and just raid just the Italian leagues is like, oh man, like I am excited as hell. Yeah, man.
Might as well, maybe start watching a bit more Serie A towards the end of the season here. Maybe start, getting our goggles on, our binoculars on, because we're going to be hunting, for some Serie A players. That's for sure.
I do have that ESPN Plus, so might as well, right? Right, yeah, might as well.
Might as well. But Ian, absolute pleasure. Do really appreciate you making the time this evening as well. Always. I do believe you told me it was a bit of a busier day today as well, so I do appreciate making the time coming on. And I like that you've come on 3 weeks in a row now. Kind of like Brad Matthews. Making a ritual of it. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting to know you more. And really, as always, from the beginning, really appreciate everything you've had to say, and it's been quite class. Love it.
All right. Let me ask you one thing here. When Hill comes back, where do you see him being plugged in, just where things stand right now?
This is the funny thing. People said Conte didn't really like Brian Hill, and my kind of thoughts were he seemed to enjoy Brian Hill. He was using him more than other players when you kind of thought about it. Like he was bring him on before he even brought on Stevie B at times. So my idea is that I feel like Brian Hill maybe could have a future at this club, maybe under Antonio Conte. I don't really want him to get loaned up back again. I feel like he is good enough for this team. Where does he play? That's the tough thing. In the 3-4-3, I would imagine he would play more or less. He would play probably the right wing if he could, because he would try to do more or less what Kulusevski does and trying to drift inside, being kind of a tricky player that drifts inside. But he does his best work out left, Brian Hill. So if he could do something similar that what Sonny does, where to play is sort of I don't know, it'd be tough. It'd be tough. I couldn't see him fitting in the 3-4-3 unless it were on the right-hand side, because the only player I see playing Sonny's role is Bergwijn. Maybe Lucas, but not Brian Hill. That's my answer.
Right. Yeah. It's like I would say for right now, I would say the only time you really play him, and I wish we could just start him fairly often, but I would say as far as the domestic cups go, you got to let the kid play. So maybe have him and Bergwijn on the wings for that, maybe. And of course, I'm probably showing a little bit of my ignorance here. I just, depending on the opposition, maybe play him in a pretty forward central midfield sort of thing, just see what could happen. I mean, he's what, 19 years old, right? Who knows? So,
absolutely. Well, Ian, good to see you. Good to have you
all
on,
right,
my man.
all right, guys. Adios.
Catch
All
ya.
right, bye.
Come on, you Spurs. Catch ya, Ian. There you are, everybody. That was Ian. He has shown up and done it yet again, 3 weeks in a row from the debut. And I would say he's a good example of why you should be doing your debuts, because you will get the bug and you will want to come on every single week. Amir, absolute class, my man. But I think we're going to move on to the last guest of the evening. And I think this could be another debut as well. Donovan, looking forward. Yes. Oh, no. I remember you, Donovan. Sorry, not a debut. I remember you from last time. Maybe I just forgot the name. I remember the face, not the name. I remember the face, not the name. How you doing, my man?
Good, man. Yeah, it's a little sluggish Monday, but a little slump day after the big result. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend and taking it 1 week at a time. How's things over there?
Things are good. Plowing through all the guests here. The last one. I appreciate your patience. But yeah, pretty much just wrapping up probably a second weekend in a row that's been quite lovely, I must say, for us. And I think what's made it better is the fact that, our kind of neighbors, as well as, our kind of competitors for top four, Donovan, have also been slipping up. So what are your thoughts on that, my man?
Oh, I didn't even call that. I was expecting Brighton to get blown away, and then
I kind of thought they would catch points up with us. I kind of thought they would, stay up with us. Arsenal.
Yeah, and I remember I had a trial on Saturday, and I couldn't sleep. I was up early, so I had a hot soak, and I got the Brighton game going, and I only saw the first bit of the first half, but I love watching Martinelli there run all the way like he just won the World Cup over, get the whole Arsenal bench going on, and once it seems VAR is going with Spurs and some instead of against us, so it's always good to see Mikel jawline just clenching tight and everything he's got to say, and I don't rate
I love that
guy
you
at all.
trolled that celebration. I completely forgot about that. That celebration. He ran all the way to that, second assistant or whatever it was. That's so funny. And then it got rolled out as well. That is so funny. I love that.
Yeah, I was gutted. I was absolutely gutted. I was watching him jump up and down. I think he did the whole freaking pitch line to get into the bench. But yeah, no, it seems like everyone is saying stars are aligning. I can't believe Fat Frank went to was it at Old Trafford they won, or was it at
unbelievable.
Yeah, ridiculous. And I don't know if Delhi made a part in that, but it's good to see Delhi's confidence and Son and Galini and them all having a birthday celebration, so that's kind of good. And but yeah, but as far as Spurs are concerned, that Villa game was really tough to watch that first half. I mean,
not easy.
I don't know if it was a Spurs faithful just being spoiled now with all the results kind of seem like we're steamrolling these teams, right? I was not expecting Villa to even come close to touching us, but wow, I give credit to Gerrard, because he's from that generation of like players of the Ferguson lads. It's just Tottenham, and he has that freaking like all the teams
seem to do that,
yeah, and so what he was telling his players before the game, and fair play to Hugo bailing us out there, man. Like, wow, that's safe.
Yeah, do you think maybe two different man of the matches? Maybe Hugo man of the match of the first half, and then Son kind of man of the match in the second.
Yeah. Son, no discredit to Son. I mean, he was putting the balls in the back of the net, but yeah, without Hugo in that first half, and I mean, recalling some of his like early career form, like he was literally reaching behind and on the goal line for that first save on Ramsey, and then that just built his confidence, right? And he was just going and going and going, and it seems like he had a bit of a blimp, like I don't know if it was something personal or something like maybe it was twilight years, but I honestly didn't think. Well, actually, I called at the beginning with my friends here. I was like, we need Hugo to have a big game, like Sean saying on your guys's
prove people wrong.
Yeah, he just needs to have that performance, and hopefully this kick starts like the rest of the season for him, because if you're gonna get points, like you said, you didn't want to get, and you have to come down to results in Liverpool, and I mean neither do I, but I mean he's gonna be tested, right? So it'd be nice to have top form going in and really being that cat, because we need it. We need it, And if you're going to pick our successor and he's going to stick around and train with them, they're going to want to keep that bar high, right? So,
absolutely. What do you make of the fact that we seem to come back in the second half, and the first half seems to be so tough for us recently. Newcastle, it was pretty tough. We weren't really, deserving of anything in the first half of that. Aston Villa certainly weren't deserving of anything in that first half. What do you make of the fact that, we've been so poor in the first half? Do you expect us maybe to be then poor in the first half against Brighton, or do you expect us to turn that around?
Well, that's a bit of a double edge there, hey? Because if you look at what we scored in 3 minutes there off that Kane deflection, and then
fair point.
Right? So, I mean, it seems like we jump in and we did score that early goal, but I guess Conte is just really drilling into them, just keep our focus and trust that formation, because they have no problem of dropping behind the ball, the three front there, Kane, Kulu, and Son, right, and dictating the space where Bentancur and Højbjerg are going to sit, and then it's up to the wing backs to kind of position themselves. And pardon me, but I think if we can get that early goal and sit back and hold on to and pick our counter moments, that's where we thrive, right? I think Conte knows that where our strengths and our weaknesses are. So if he sees at the moment now that, hey, we're not going to be able to go and effectively dictate the game, sure, this teams can sit back and give us 70% possession ball, but if we don't have that killer pass to make the final goal, then there's no point of playing that way. It's waste energy, waste this, it waste that. But I was actually really surprised he didn't make a change at halftime. When I was really thinking Winks was going to come in, or someone
to see the game out. Yeah,
right. So to do a 5-3-2 and maybe, but obviously a good thing I'm not a manager, because Kulu went on and had that second goal, and that was great. That was awesome. It was good to see Tyrone Mings sit down humbled again, because I don't know what curled up his butt. He had a real blinder of a game, going in, almost breaking Kulu's knee, and then having the audacity to just keep that persona up, and you get in the England squad, but you don't even play. I don't even, and so it was good to see him humbled again and sat down for that third goal when Kulu came in and he was on a 6-yard box, and he put him on his
kind of destroyed twice when you think about it, right? Because the goal that Kulu scored, he kind of made it look like Tyrone Mings made it look like it was, all taken care of. And then Kulu just puts a shot through his legs, bottom corner, kind of makes him look like a bit kind of foolish there. And then the one where he, absolutely drops him, like you said, to play Sonny for that other goal. Tyrone Mings was a bit humbled. I'm glad that you said that. I haven't heard that tonight. Really good point, my man.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, cheers, man. Yeah, no, I don't know where. I don't know what he's getting off. I don't know if he's getting off laying on the ground after he was hurt either. He was holding his head after he got hit in the head, and I don't know if he's waiting for VAR to try and bail him out on the buildup or something. But no, it was good to see Steven try and get his boys out and get them pumped up, and hopefully for them they'll have a good end to their season and whatever, because they're trying to make the push to the top half of the table for next year. But I went into the game thinking it was going to be a potential banana slip. I knew they weren't going to be as much as Newcastle. Newcastle were going to roll over, right? And I looked at the remaining schedule, and the only ones I'm really scared of were the Villa game, Leicester, and Liverpool, right? I don't think we're going to lose points. I think we're going to lose against Leicester, but it's definitely going to be another battle. And then Liverpool, like you said, I like to wrap it up at Liverpool, so it could potentially be a free hit, But
you don't think Leicester might be one of those teams that could, be one of those, sandal, kicking off the boots, wearing the sandals, at this stage?
Are they in Europe still? Did they get knocked out?
I think they probably, let's see. I think I could check. I think they've lost all their chances at getting Europe. Yeah. They have no chance of getting into Europe.
So they're not even in the Europa League anymore.
They're in the Europa Conference League. Yeah.
Okay,
so my thought is that they might just try to win that in order to get back into Europe. And so my thinking is maybe they might just be kind of using the Premier League sort of, not as intensely as maybe others might be.
Well, you hope that. You really hope that, because
you do hope that, right?
Yeah, when they play like that, I remember my mind goes back to a was it a 5-0 or a 4-0 trouncing of them, right? And
yeah, you're right.
It seems like they're getting picked apart now. We're already getting linked with James, and Tielemans is not going to sign his new deal, and I don't know what Fofana is going to do after his injury. And Schmeichel is gone, so that golden generation of players is gone for them. So it's interesting what King Power and their group does, but to focus on Tottenham here, yeah, I think if we go in and we play our game, I mean, I don't think any team can touch us. I mean, only 2 teams in the league that could are Liverpool and City, and we already did the double over City. So and we drew Liverpool. So as far as I'm concerned, that Liverpool away game, that'll be the benchmark for next season. You know, like if we can draw another draw there, then we can go into next season with our heads high. And we played Chelsea before we could get in the swing of things, and it'll just be a battle of top 4 again next year with the best we can do. And we just need the transfers in the summer to back us, you know. And need Levy to write his book and get us something decent, because I mean, like we mentioned on Hakimi earlier, I know he's not gonna want to stay at Paris, and he's
I
willing
would pay top dollar for that guy. I'd pay all the money in the world for that guy.
Yeah, he's willing to drop his wage to go to Real Madrid. So I don't see why Paratici can't do some swindling there, because
yeah, good point.
I mean, like, he's already dealt with him in the past, and Conte made him the player he was. So why not go back and play for Conte again, right? So
no, completely agree. What are your thoughts maybe on Doherty being out for the rest of the season? Do you feel like that hurts her top 4 chances, or are you really still confident?
I was watching a Mac Doherty highlight clip the other day, and I was posted. I can't
Didn't
believe
know that existed.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm watching a Mac Doherty like highlight clip at this stage of the season, right? And but he's like, yeah, I can't believe I made it. Like seriously, like he's been playing out of his skin. And actually, I was really surprised. I was pleasantly surprised when I was reading the lineup. I couldn't watch the game live. I was just looking at the Instagram starting lineup to see him like make two appearances in that left wing back position. Mm-hmm. It shows how much Conte really rates him, I guess, even over Sergi. I don't think it hurts our top 4 chances just based on like we have built such a good squad. Like it's not near the championship level, but it's good enough to get us to the top 4. And so we will have to rely on Sergi, Reguilon, and Sessegnon. It sucks for Matt though. Like it's absolutely gutted for Matt. Like he was playing out of his skin, and he is getting to the twilight edge of his career. So it'll be good to see how he battles back from that.
Absolutely, my man.
If it's just his MCL, hopefully he can. But only problem is that.
Do you have thoughts on MCL? Because some people are saying MCL is not that serious. I kind of thought anything that was behind the knee, was serious, because the ACL, MCL, it's all that stuff that's behind your kneecap, like on the back of your knee. So I kind of thought all that stuff was serious.
Yeah, well, it's a stabilizing muscle. Well, here I come in with some little bit of knowledge, because I have an MCL injury. That's one of my Achilles.
Interesting.
That's one of my things in my career. Like I ended up buckling my MCL, and I built it back up. And then during COVID, we didn't play, and then I re-injured my knee, and then it was in the same spot, so it was recurring. But it's like a stabilizing muscle, so it holds, like if it's your kneecap, it holds like one of the sides, whereas your ACL goes right through, right? And that's the connection, right? And you don't want to ruin that connection, because then you're gonna have to go under the needle, and you're gonna have to get it surgery to you're done. But an MCL can be rebuilt with like rehabilitation and strength.
Not a surgical needed, yeah.
Well, hopefully, right? And he can get some resistant bands and a bunch of protein and whatnot, and just get on his back and
good PT and. Good PT.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I'm hoping, and but I wanted Emerson to, like, I don't want to diss any players, but financially, from like because we have a very strict wage budget, I wanted Emerson to go on and have Matt as our backup, and then use all that Emerson money to get us like world class, like amazing top of the line right wing back, and then we could rely on Matt's form and let him see out his career. But I mean, it's really going to depend on how he rehabilitates from this injury, right?
Sure.
And how his
point
goes, So
what do you make of the fact that if Emerson plays really well, maybe what you could root for is Emerson to play really well, and then he could be sold on for even more money, this summer, if we still want to move him on. So let's say he has 6 good games, Spurs get into top 4. They could see Emerson as someone that, had some good games for Spurs and might be worth, taking a punt on.
Totally, and you can even add the fact that like secured top 4, and his
exactly.
Yeah, I'm thinking Atletico is looking.
Exactly, I'm hearing rumors.
Yeah, knocking on his door, and we already know that Simeone likes his Tottenham right back, right? So we could we could show him. We could say that, hey, like Kieran went off and was amazing for you, so here's another one, and you guys have to pay like top dollar for him. That would be awesome, actually. What do you see? What do you see us getting for him? Like 20, 30, like. I think like 25.
I see us getting 20 million for him. They're not going to probably pay more than what we paid. because he hasn't had that good of a time here where they would realistically pay more than what we paid. But I could see us getting at close to 20 million. I'd reckon we would probably take a bit less than that, but I could see us getting close to 20 million, maybe getting close to most of our things back, most of our money back. So that's how I could see it happening.
Yeah, no, he's tall, he can win a tackle, and he doesn't back down, and he's got the bit of that Brazilian sample about him, if you know what I mean, where he can win the tackles, he can win the free kicks, and he can get under people's skin. So if we can use that for the next 7 games, and really push on from that position, he's not one for the future though, based off his skill level now, because he can get at, the players will just give him that space, right, and then let him poof crosses in the box, and it's up to him now to show people that, hey, I am good enough to play, I'm good enough to be a dog.
Oh. Everything all right? Can people stream still okay? Can people still see the stream? People still see stream? Donovan, you there? Everybody? People still hear me? People still hear me? Yeah. All right. All right. It seems like I'm still good. Well, hopefully, Donovan, can you still hear me? All right. All right. Well, Donovan, I do apologize, my man. I kind of like William Kelly. Seems like we were in really good conversation there, which really did kind of disappoint me, especially we're in the middle of kind of figuring out the Emerson problem. Donovan, do message me in the private chat if you are back there, my man. But yeah, it seems like, we kind of lost connection with them there, kind of like we did with William Kelly, which is kind of a shame. Really did enjoy that conversation we were having there with him. But everybody, really good fan show tonight. Lots of people. I think we went through, I think I counted it, might have gone through 9 or 10 people, 8, 9, 10 people we might have gone through tonight, which is, I would say, we've done that before, but it's definitely nice to see. Really nice to see everybody tuning in. Really nice to see everybody coming through, having a chat, especially without David here. It's nice to see that you guys kept me company tonight. It's been really, really wonderful, I must say. And I've really enjoyed everybody's thoughts, everybody's opinions. I would say everybody's an absolute joy. Every guest has been wonderful. Really do appreciate support tonight. I would say everybody do head on over to the second channel, flatcapeurotalk. I took kind of a break, from it, just kind of catching up on things over here. Would appreciate support over there. I do have scout reports on Conrad Limer and Sam Johnston, those 2 players that I think are very heavily rumored with Spurs, as well as some other players. But also there's plenty of other content for you to check out over there. So I really would say everybody would appreciate support if you can head on over there as well. Tomorrow, I think Dave and I are doing the tactical kind of breakdown of this Aston Villa game. We're doing it around, I believe, 4:30, 4:30 UK time, 11:30 a.m. over here in the USA, Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. We're doing it right before the Champions League. We were going to do it today. It's just kind of some complications came up. Wednesday, probably going to be doing a Kaniki Answer Me. Thursday, probably, might be some sort of Stats with Jack or some sort of show there again. And Saturday, we just started all off with the games again. Really do hope that everybody enjoyed the show today. Really do have everybody enjoyed the fan show. I thought everybody had a great things to say. I enjoyed everything that we all had to, discuss, kind of pretty much just talked about Matt Doherty, and kind of the top 4 chances, but, not as many stressful things, to discuss this time around. But really do appreciate everybody tuning in for this one as always. And everybody, do hit that like button on your way out. Do hit that sub button on your way out. Everybody that's given to the channel, everybody that's thrown in the super chats today, Devadim Duda, Dark Sun G, as well as a few others, William Kelly, really do appreciate it. It does go a long way. It really does show support for the channel, for David and I on this journey. But everybody, we will catch you tomorrow, and do hit that like, do hit that sub on the way out. Come on, you Spurs, and in Conte we trust.